Hello, everyone. I think you can hear me now. Welcome. We were having a wonderful conversation, so it was
Wow, we said
time to
so
move
many
on.
things
There was so
that
much being
nobody
said,
heard.
but we'll restart. Everyone, welcome to CMSA
Ooh, I
eSports
am hearing
League
a
of Legends.
um an echo.
And if that's coming from the stream,
Oh, it might be it's coming from the stream. I'm dumb.
it's all right. I just want to double check. If anyone in the stream can do it, let me know. Well, at least y'all get to see my face. If there's any lip readers, I'll repeat what I said. So, welcome everyone to the CMSA Esports League of Legends. We're on our newest season, season number 15. Gosh, it's been so many seasons that we've been around. I'm Sam VC. I will be your host this evening. Normally, I'm accompanied by Chroma Caster, who is not here this evening. Will be joining us for the rest of the season, though. But tonight I've got, and I'm very pleased to welcome Mr. Raccoon 13. So I'll let you introduce yourself actually here for the stream.
I will do that. Definitely not for a second time, for the first time, actually. Hi, I'm Mr. Raccoon 13. You can also call me Xander. I play in the CMSA Fortnite League and also in Dungeons and Dragons. I co-run the Fortnite League with regrettably Jake. So you've probably seen me over there on Mondays. If you also like Fortnite, come watch us then. We stream on Mondays at 7 starting August 6th, 19th.
and
19th.
And that's a perfect segue for it's not just Fortnite and League of Legends. We have CMSA, of course, stand for Chicago Metropolitan Sports Association. We're the largest LGBTQ sports nonprofit in the Midwest, and we play those two esports, and in addition to many more: Dead by Daylight, Dungeons and Dragons, and Valorant, I believe, also starting up here. There's just
Mm-hmm.
so many different esports to be involved in, not just League of Legends. Of course, season 15 of League of Legends is where we are focused on this evening. So we've got a little bit about how everything is organized, and just to orient our viewers, this week it's week one of our League of Legends play. And what's amazing is we've got over 100 players that have signed up and are now part of this league. Each week, captains will draft different players onto their teams, and we'll watch and follow them as they battle on the Rift. In seasons past, we've done it Clash style, where the winners will take on the winners. This season, this summer season, we'll be mixing it up. So it'll just kind of be random. The teams that are playing one another. Although we might switch it back to a clash style, where I'm just kind of waiting to hear all the news on that. We've got three different leagues. We've got our Pearl League, which is what we'll be watching tonight. That focuses on iron players up through low gold players. We've got the Ruby League, which is that low gold all the way up to Emerald 1. And then Diamond Plus, we've got our newest league that you can be a part of. The Topaz League is what it's currently named as, although there's some debate on whether that name might change weekly. So we'll see how that all shakes out. So tonight we'll be following the Pearl League and League of Legends play, and we're just waiting to get an invite so that we can watch that first team play. All right. So, Mr. Raccoon, you before we get focused on League of Legends, let me just ask, how is the Fortnite League going? How is your summer going? And anything CMSA related we should know about or talk about?
Great question. Fortnite League has not started up yet, but we are hosting our third seasonal Fortnite Invitationals this coming Monday. That is going to be August 5th at 7 p.m. Super exciting. And otherwise, my summer is going really well. Did a lot of CMSA stuff so far. Going to be doing some more CMSA stuff, some like running beer tents, et cetera, for the good of the community. Which is always a ton of fun. We are also having our next North End event, our next in-person event, and that is going to be September 6th. September 6th, and the next day, actually, is out in the park at Six Flags. For those of you who do not know, Six Flags does this every summer where they shut down the park for everybody except for 5,000 people, and it's a specifically queer night at the park. So it's mostly queer people and their friends. Tickets are $45, comes with free parking, and it's a ton of fun, and we'd love to see a huge turnout. Um, we're also hoping to get some out of towners in for that for the double whammy of the North End event and out in the park. So super thrilled for that opportunity.
I didn't even know about that. I'm like so excited here for out in the park and for our next in-person event. The in-person events are always so great. Like just seeing everybody, getting to put names to faces and
Yeah,
meeting people from the other leagues. But oh my gosh, the Six Flags Day, that's going to be such a good. I'll be there. I will 100% be there. I've done that event
I
before. I love Six Flags.
love it. I love it so much. It's so much fun, and it was the first time I went was last year, and actually, that was the first time I ever met Justin, um, and a bunch of other people as well. Kelton, the first time I met him. Kung Pao, for those of you who don't know. Gunny, yes. And then it was one of the first times that I met Vibros as well. Not exactly the first time, but pretty close. So it's just funny looking back on it now and being like, oh, I didn't even know any of those people. And now here we are.
That's amazing. I think the first time I met most of those names was at the Whirly Ball event. Was it after that Whirly Ball event you went
Yeah,
to
it was
Six
just
Flags?
after that Whirlyball event.
Yes,
Yeah, that was the first time I met you,
that was so
is
good.
that day.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice. This is gonna be so exciting. All right, I can't wait to see everyone at Six Flags and scream on some of those roller coasters. It's great.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that you're a big fan of roller coasters as well, because what a good time. Roller coasters.
Well, hopefully we're be having a good time here on the Summoner's Rift here in a second as the players are all in the lobby and we're starting up with picks and bans. So I can talk a little bit about the players that we're seeing and some of the strategy that might be shaking out as we're looking at
Oh,
this.
we are, you did get the invite, right? From home,
I did, yes, thank you. We're
right?
in, and you can you see the picks and bans that are
Yeah, I
happening
can see
right
it. I
now?
just
Looks like we're good on
am clearly
stream
really
as
good at
well.
checking my messages.
Looks like looks like we're good on stream as well. Lux gets banned, which two things about Lux. First off, in that little profile icon, it looks like she has no hair, so we like to say that Lux is the bald champ, and also we like to say that Lux is almost 100% pick and ban in in our CMSA league, although not usually banned like in the general like League of Legends game at large. It's just like very exclusive to our CMSA metagame where Lux is always being banned typically.
I've heard this actually, and so I've tried to kind of suss out the lore behind this. I've asked a couple people to kind of explain to me why, because I've also heard that she's like a queer icon of League of Legends players. So it seems to be this duality of her being banned and stand, one might say, simultaneously.
I honestly don't know, and like, I don't follow much in the way of the lore of League of Legends. I don't know if Lux is queer icon because of the lore, or just because, or if it's just like a Babadook sort of thing where
Mm,
the community
yeah,
has just sort of embraced embraced Lux. I don't know. All right, so right away, our bands that we see are Caitlyn, from right from the TV
I love
show,
her.
and Miss
I
Fortune.
play I That's one of the people I'm actually good at playing as. So that would be unfortunately devastating for me to find out I could not play as her.
Well, and if you're in a game like this, it gets picked away from you. You can't play something your opponents have picked, so maybe not, depending on if they want it. But we've got Tiltery Clinton likely going to be the one on that Caitlyn. Caitlyn's so long range that it's going to be a big
Yeah.
advantage. But Miss Fortune with that pirate theme, very strong hitting and in a good place in terms of the strength of Miss Fortune right now. She can go into that bot lane and just go crazy. That the ultimate there is called bullet time. Massive area of effect damage, and that is going to be one of the key things to look out for is are they landing, isn't Miss Fortune able to land a lot of damage?
So would you say someone like a ranged champion is better off in like the bot lane, for instance, or are they better as a support? kind of with that. Hold on, let me flex my vocab here. With their ADC carry in the mid lane. No, yes,
What
mid
is
lane.
yeah, with the mid lane, you've got it right. For those for those watching, Xander coming from Fortnite and helping on tonight's stream, and I love that. Actually, what's funny about that question is that right now the ADC role, those long range marksmen, are so strong that in fact people are taking them into every role that exists in League of Legends. They're taking them to the top lane, the
Really?
mid lane, the bot lane. They're playing them in the jungle, in the support. Yeah, so the next patch, which we're on the final day of the current patch, but the next patch they're actually going to remove some of that power level away from some of these AD carries, the items that they like to buy, just because nobody likes to see one role be so dominant over the entire map. So yeah, you see that. Now, whether or not that's actually the best or the best way to play the game right now, who knows, or at this level, if that's the best way to play the game. But yeah, that's something you're seeing. Traditionally, they go into the bot lane because ADCs are kind of the scaling option for your team. They'll carry you as the game gets further and further along. They do more and more damage than compared to other roles, and
Mm.
so early game they're just like a little chick starting out. And they don't have their wings to really soar in the game, and so they need a help. They need a helper, and that's what the support role is for. And you've got Misfortune and Seraphine going together, and they will be it's kind of in that bot lane. Seraphine's will be tasked with making sure that Misfortune is safe and sound and can get to that kind of late game fantasy that ADCs love so much.
So Zyra, right here, of famously of Zyra Zaddies,
Famously.
famously one of our voice chats. What's Zyra's deal?
Zyra in this game will probably be in the jungle. All throughout League of Legends, the
Okay.
identity of that champion has changed a lot. On release, people would take her as a mage kind of into the mid lane. Hello? Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think my camera may have decided it didn't want to work anymore. I'll try to
Oh,
correct
it
that.
did. It
Thank you.
did decide.
All right.
Maybe if you just like shut it off and shut it back on, it'll. There
That's
you go.
that's all
Yeah,
I
you're good.
did, and it's working beautifully. But now Zyra likes to be more in the jungle, and what's interesting about Zyra is she's got one of the fastest jungle clears out there, and a very easy jungle clear to do in terms of she's got minions that she'll summon, little plants that will not only do a lot of damage to those jungle creep, but will also tank the jungle creep, which means she'll have a lot of HP. So looks like the
And
players
I've
they're
so my understanding of the jungle in general is that you want to kill those dragons and those little squishy gooey monsters and all of that stuff because then you get perks that affect your whole team. Is that the case?
yeah. So it depends on the period of the game, yes. But there's a big jungle monster called the dragon as that spawns early
Yes.
on, and that'll give your team global kind of everyone in your team certain buffs. Um, and and as the players kind of jaw back and forth because there was an accidental pick. So we're going to run back through pick ban in a second. Yeah, but then inside of the jungle, so you'll see Zyra taking a lot of those early can do dragons early, especially with help of her laners. Generally, there's two kind of things. So there's dragon on the bottom side of the map, but then there's also the Rift Herald on the top side of the map. Dragon better a little bit later in the game. Rift Herald better probably a little bit earlier in the game. And those two objectives spawn at roughly around the same time. So the junglers generally one jungler will go and do one objective and then the other jungler will opt into doing the other objective. So there doesn't have to be a fight. They'll just kind of split it. Sometimes there will be a fight. It just depends on how those junglers want a path. So
I feel like something I've seen in other CMSA League of Legends streams is that somebody will be getting like one of the dragons or something, and then all of a sudden the entire other team just like pops up out of nowhere and comes to ruin their night. Is that a popular strategy of just like oh, this team is like fighting this dragon, they're gonna have lower HP, let's all just go rally and third party this fight?
we'll definitely see that in League of Legends. There's so much that is on a timer. And so when these, whether they're dragons that are spawning, whether it's a big Baron objective, or maybe one team is sieging a tower, especially that's the cool part about organized play. And if you're watching, you've never like signed up for a league like this, never done the organized play. It's one of the most fun things about it is you're on comms, you're on communication with everyone else, so you get to say, hey, they're doing this objective, let's not let them have it for free, and they'll all run over there, and then you see these big 5v5, 3v3 team fights that break out, and
They're
always the
so
most fun to
scary.
watch. Oh, it is, and one
Like they're so
mistake.
scary to watch. Like I'm over here just watching and I'm like, "Oh, wow." Um like this is terrifying. If I was over here fighting this dragon and I turned around and saw like 17 people, not 17, 5 people running out of the jungle and, ready to mess me and my team up, I would be scared.
you know, it's a lot of, it's definitely a, it's oftentimes why you want to make sure your team is there. And the interesting thing there
What are
that's so
what's happening right now
important.
also?
So right now on stream, what you're seeing, and apologies, they've went through the draft phase. They chose all of their champions. Someone
I'm getting
probably,
deja vu.
I know, they're gonna go through all of this again. Someone essentially uh, clicked on the wrong thing, like they misclicked, and it was the final like champion that needed to be locked in. And so what's likely is they misclicked or didn't click something in time, and so then we got kicked out of the game. So we went back to it, and then we reloaded again, and then I think Kelton, who was it, went back, um, and, and then they made a second mistake, and so now we're in this for third try as a charm,
Yeah, I
and
was
we're gonna
gonna say,
try
I
and
feel like we've
get into this.
I don't play this game often, but I do feel that we've done this before. Perhaps twice. Um, can we change the overlay to get a third uh hold on.
Oh, let
Maybe not. Yeah, let's get a third camera in here.
I can add that. Give me 1 second. Do a little song and dance while I make this happen as we go through these.
Oh, I'm
Try to
I'm not
pronounce.
the one that
Why
you
don't
want to do that.
you can try to pronounce every League of Legends champion name. Give it
Oh,
your
well, that's
best
going to
bet.
be easy here. We have Caitlyn, Aurora, Evelyn, Miss Fortune, Seraphine, boom,
Oh,
Zyra.
killing it. Look at you go.
Put me in. Put me in, coach.
Okay, you'll
Jeez.
be the one casting the team fights then.
Oh, no, 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 because I can't recognize them when they're like on the field. That's not something I can do. Right, we're getting Gunny in here.
Yeah, let's see if this
So Sam has
works.
somebody who actually knows what's going on to talk to as well, which is going to be great for him. And I'm the personality hire. That's what I'm
Oh,
here for.
the best, I might add, the best personality we can possibly
Oh
ask
my
for
God, thank
here
you.
on the
You're
stream.
so sweet. I I'm doing my best out here. I will be using a lot of Fortnite lingo. I've already done it once, so you know it'll be great.
Perfect. We can bridge it right there. And you can teach me a little about the game, so when I tune in, I don't have to be completely mesmerized with what I'm looking at.
Fortnite is so silly, and that's what I'll always say. It's the silliest game. Like it's never serious, and that's the most important thing to remember about Fortnite.
All right, we are
I
fifth.
would love to have you join our Fortnite stream one night.
That sounds amazing. I'd love that.
I think that would be really
Anytime you
good.
need a sub, just like you're filling in tonight, I can come over and do my best. I ask a bunch of
Perfect.
questions. I'm nothing if not curious.
I think that's great. I'd love to put you on with like Robin or Jake. I think that would be great.
So we're getting into loadout, then we'll have a little bit of a spectator delay before we go. But looking at these two team compositions, I'll tell you a little bit about what we perhaps can expect to see. So let's look at One thing I have not managed to identify are these. Will you check in Discord and tell me the team names? You think
Yes.
we can find that one? That would be
Let's
ideal.
see. So we've got on Tiltery's team, that is Orn's Otters.
Orn's Otters, incredible.
And see, I was okay. So so that's Orn's Otters, and then who's the other team? Kung Pao,
Yes, I think so.
Vigar's Vixens.
And Vigar's Vixens, all right.
Yeah.
So we've got Orange Otters and Vigar's Vixens. So Orange Otters is going to be that team on the left-hand side. They'll be playing bot side blue. And then Vigar's Vixens, I'm going to talk about them first because their team composition has something I like to call maybe more of a circle composition. And so what you'll see is on Vigar's Vixens, they've got a Zyra and a Fiddlesticks, both of which have massive circular ultimate abilities. And so I'll be looking for Vigar's Vixens to be using Fiddlesticks ultimate in conjunction with Zyra's ultimate, which will keep everyone in place, and Fiddlesticks will come in there and do a ton of damage all in one area with that Crow Storm. And then over the top of all of that, you've got a Misfortune that can use bullet time for a lot of damage right over the top of Zyra, and right over the top of Zyra and all of that big AoE that's happening. And then, of course, Seraphine has a similar big AoE ability ultimate that will lock the opponents down, keep them in place. So those four ultimates, super scary together. If you are the side of Orange Otters, you do not want to clump up against the enemy team, because if you clump up, they will absolutely shred you with those big area of effect ultimates.
You know, it's a lot like if you're playing Fortnite and you're maybe in a vault or a bunker and somebody's just shooting the boom bow in there and they're just doing these explosive damages and you have nowhere to go. You're trapped in there. And so you just got hit by all these explosive damage. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Sam.
So then on the side of Orange Otters, the difficulty is going to be, first off, they need to avoid that. But they have one really important tool that we don't often see, and that is Taric. Taric is able to basically provide invulnerability. Now, it's on a little bit of a delay, but he can provide invulnerability to his entire team after about a second and a half, 2 seconds. So if you're anticipating that or you see it and can react quickly, then can nullify a lot of that huge damage that's coming down from Vigar's Vixens. In addition to that, you've got some of the champions, the characters, the way they want to play is not necessarily I want to group up together and run at my opponents, but rather they're playing these champions that want to attack you from different angles and kind of surround you. So examples of that, they've got Evelyn in the jungle there. Manifested Agony on Evelyn wants to look to try to assassinate that back line. Aurora has tools for kind of becoming invisible to the opponents and then moving around from interesting angles to try to get at you. And I'm interested because we've got Aurora in the top lane, and this is a champion. This is our newest addition to the roster, so I'm not 100% familiar with the playstyle. I don't think anyone has figured out exactly how Aurora works, but Target Lady on that Aurora going to be exciting to watch.
It looks like on stream
and
League
now,
of Legends screen is gone.
Well, and now we are officially going into the game.
So
let's
great.
boot that up. They've just now hit the rift and they're about to start.
Is there an option in this screen for a third camera?
In this screen, there's not an option for a third camera. No.
Okay. So Justin, you'll be a voice of God unless you want to switch with me.
All right, and they are on the rift.
30 seconds until minions spawn. Think you're above the law?
Well, I could add some league commentary perhaps, but I do love the Fortnite talk that I was getting for a moment there. The odds of a third party taking the dragon kill in a two-team game excites me.
Just kind of
yeah, they're third partying the fight between the dragon and the other team.
So true. The dragon's one of the parties. I see it now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Gunny, let me
Obviously.
officially welcome you to the broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you were probably excited to play, but here you are.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yes, I'm always ready to go in any direction. I'm just happy to see so many people turn out for season 15. I think you said at the top there, Sam, over 100 players right now. That tends to grow as we go. If you're new to the league, it's awesome that you're here to watch us. Feel free to join us. Get over to the website, cmsaesports.com. That website alone is amazing. And as a jungler, I love seeing such a strong leash for my red too. So look at the start.
Okay, so this is how can you my question is, like, you're looking at this fight right here. How can you tell which champions these two are playing as? Do you just have all of the skins and etc. memorized, or are you looking somewhere else?
Occasionally the abilities help. You know, there are 10 people in the game, so and people generally champions stick kind of to their lane. So we can see Fiora going in here. She's laying down these passive procs onto her opponent. So you can see those light up on the enemy, and that helps just a little bit. But standard lanes and a lot of investment into memorizing champions, I'd say. Is that right, Sam?
Yeah, you just play enough, you eventually learn everyone. Although I will say, sometimes there's a new skin line that comes out, and I'll be in my little ADC bubble in the bot lane, and all of a sudden this surprise jungler will appear, and I'll honestly have no idea if it's a Fiora, Camille, or some other champion running at me.
Yeah, or a
this
version
is a little
of Viego.
scary what's happening right now. Sorry to interrupt, but third person is over here getting a little low, it looks like.
Yeah, good trading from Aurora. New champion, too.
Yeah.
So maybe bullying.
Yeah, Target Lady figuring out how to do it. Now, of course, third person has the option of just putting this onto the turret and then crashing, but this is definitely where a lot of that action is. You see, similarly on the bot side, a big wave crashing in here to Queen of Darkness and Goji Daddy. And so Caitlyn, Tark. Now, Tark doesn't offer a whole lot in terms of strength for this bot lane, but Caitlyn providing all the poke that they need. So this is interesting how this is going to go. Although we'll see if these junglers run into each other here.
Yeah, the interruption later on into the MF is a little bit difficult. You have Caitlyn traps available as that fight does start to break out just a little bit. Third person.
Flashing forward on a third person, going to get out of there now, able to join this jungle fight, but you've got mid lane coming in. Malon's also arriving here, trying to go for it. Look how much
this is scary.
tankiness.
So they're just hanging out in the jungle, and all of a sudden, you're dead.
All of a sudden, there's a big fight. The champion of fear himself going down first here as first blood goes over to Orange Otters.
Yeah,
but Machine Gun Kirby getting away, able to go back under tower, which is very good because, as I learned, that's where you're safe, unless it's the enemy's tower, in which case you're getting beat up. And you might not know where it's coming from, but I'll tell you, it's coming from the tower.
The finer points of League. I love it. Sam, you mentioned this Tark. We're going to see it might take a little while for Tark to heat up here, but a great stun there. Cosmic Radiance coming up in 2 levels. So it feels nice as a Tark to get off a couple of those early E's.
Yeah, it's such a short range champion. You don't see him often, should not be doing a whole lot of harassment here. But what I love what Tiltree and Mars have done here is they've really pushed Queen of Darkness and Goji Daddy into this turret, and look at the mana lead that's been built. There's not a lot of extra push out that Misfortune and Seraphine can do because they just don't have the mana, the ability to actually use these spells. And whereas Tiltree and Mars are topped off for the most part, so they're going to continue this kind of persistent siege of the bot lane.
Yeah, and you've got a while before Crow Storm is available for the Fiddlesticks, so you're feeling pretty safe. Fiddlesticks notoriously not the strongest gank early on, has to just walk right at you. So yeah, they're commanding that bot lane as third person looks to trade and is even in CS here, getting that early back after we see that push into the tower.
Yeah,
so can you expand a little on what you mean by early gank?
That would be the third party coming in.
Oh, Oh, great. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
this would be you know, the lanes are pretty standard normally. One top, one mid, two bot, but your jungler and often your mid laner offer exciting opportunities for people to visit and break the norm a little bit and give you an odd
And
man
third party.
advantage. And third party, if you will.
So you see the dragon has been taken on the one side and immediately answered with the Rift Herald on the other. So pretty stock standard here as top lane takes its base.
Yeah, home
So which do
despite
you
dying.
prefer between the Rift Herald and the Dragon? Which do you think is better tactically for a team?
So much that depends on the actual composition of the team, who you're playing with. Rift Herald is going
Mm-hmm.
to help your team push and take more early game turret plating, which is going to result in more gold, and it's going to add pushing power to the late game. There's a lot of different times where you would want that Rift Herald because either you've got a split pusher in the top lane that's going to be helping, or you've got a team that just likes to group up and push, and so that can be really useful. In other teams, though, where you maybe just want to like win really big team fights and sieging is more difficult, Rift Herald isn't as important. So it really is going to be depending a lot on that team. This Evelyn has been spotted out by the Fiddlesticks effigy there.
That's the chat calling out probably a lack of fighting in the mid lane here, but we do see a gank coming in. Two ranged mages. Oh,
Right on
just
time.
lands the charm.
Oh, immediately canceling that ultimate. So didn't quite get
Yeah.
the full amount of damage down, but now Homosexual looking to respond here. See that disengage coming out of Tarek. Seraphine gonna say, come a little closer, dance towards me, and now getting low. That's that Tarek ultimate that's gonna be invulnerability, which means there's no chance of death. So Mars getting out of there, but it does buy them the space to finally get a base in here.
Wow, Mars dancing so beautifully, walking forward, getting the shield and the heal long enough to get Cosmic Radiance off there, surviving the gank, and at the same time, we've got Target Later on the Manifest Agony there on the other side with the Evelyn, at least walking into the enemy jungle, so maybe taking advantage of that missed gank in the bot lane. Maybe taking advantage with a kill here.
Yeah, gank here. Evelyn now level 6, which means there's stealth available, and you're not going anywhere. That is going to keep you in place, and Manifested Agony grabs that kill. Two kills now in favor of Orange Otters. Both teams playing pretty safe.
So it looks like Machine Gun Kirby going back to heal, channeling to the Rift Point? Question mark?
Just back to base there. Yeah.
Well,
And a little bit of a tough time for it too, because it's already down a minion wave, and it's going to lose a minion wave to the turret here too. So Mountain's doing a great job keeping ahead in both health and mana, actually opting to stay in the lane here, maybe close to an item point. And or not close enough to get anything worthwhile.
Yeah, or just so far away. You do see a lot of gold currently on that Caitlyn. Maybe gearing up for a base. Still actually no base at all for Caitlyn. Still sitting on Dorn's Blade here.
Yeah, that's a BF sword MF lurking right there, so it makes total sense that we're looking for a gank down to this bot lane with that heavy advantage. And finally, going back to spend that purse.
which I learned is very important. It's, you know, there's one thing to be said about, you know, not dying or not going back to the base and just, you know, surviving. But on the other hand, you don't have any items and you're kind of at a disadvantage, right? Pretty heavily, pretty quickly is my understanding.
Yeah, not going back to base would be the Fortnite equivalent of getting a bunch of kills and not picking up their good items. It actually doesn't put you that far ahead.
Manifested Agony lurking here. Machine Gun Kirby is doing a great job of harassing Mountains as mid lane has become a little more interactive, but a little bit stepping forward there. But Zyra gonna return a lot of damage, and those small plants continuing to just poke their way down. Manifested Agony and Mountains both tuck and tail after Machine Gun turns that gank around.
Yeah, Moen's maybe in a spot there to turn it back around, stands in front knowing they've got the spell shield for a second, but
Now,
Manifested Agony still in the area.
and has skirted around Fiddlesticks here, doing it, trying to come top.
Repeat top.
And with that Aurora ultimate, you can go absolutely nowhere. You gotta stay in that circle, so they are collecting every time that is up. Another kill, 3-0 here in favor of Orange Otters, but there's a little bit of a skirmish here.
Machine Gun Kirby, you better run.
Crowstorm
It's
coming
not what
in.
you think.
No, not quite there. Yeah, that's where playing for the lane gives us such a big advantage here, because now they're a man up. Crowstorm coming in, will pick up a Void Grub, maybe picking up another kill here. Ultimate from Malzahar, but Crowstorm still going. Means they're going to drop low but stay alive. Machine Gun Kirby getting a turnaround kill, but Target Lady cleaning up in the end, and that could be the Void Grubs over to blue side as well.
Yeah, Target Lady showing off that Aurora top there, cleaning up the kills. Only one kill as a result of that Crowstorm engage, and that was going over to Zyra. So
yeah, that Evelyn just ready to invest in that top lane, and it ends up being a good decision walking right by the Void Grubs initially to pick up the kill before starting the fight.
Oh, it looks like third person arrived and picked up that one more. So, but it was, it does mean that they actually get up to what, 5 grubs here, 5-1. So,
wow, not a bad consolation prize.
now we've got the dragon started here. Looks like no one on the side of Tigers Vixens is going to be able to challenge this. So 2 dragons soon to be had.
So, would it be correct to say that, hold on, let me look at the overlay. Orange Otters is pretty solidly ahead right now. It looks like they're about 2K ahead in gold. They're 4 kills ahead. Is that pretty accurate?
You know, this early in the game, a 1,000 to 2,000 gold lead is significant. A lot of it depends on, are you spending your items, are you hitting item spikes? So Caitlyn has a collector finished. Caitlyn's first kind of main item is already done, and her lane opponent does not, which means that there's a lot of extra pressure you get to put on because of that. So if you're, whereas in the mid lane, it's just kind of Blackfire Torch against Blackfire Torch. So it's not as relevant here, as essentially the amount of gold that these 2 laners have spent is roughly the same. So, but yeah, it is significant. They are, although at 5-1 you would expect this to be a little more. So it shows the farming that's been done. Yes, you've had Target Lady in the top lane getting a lot of these kills and involvement, but not farming as well as third person, which means that the score is actually much more even. The amount of gold rather that they've generated is much more even than it might feel when you're down 0-2.
Yeah, some of the advantage shown in the dragon, a little bit in gold, but position here wise, red side still, Vygar's Vixen still looking to control that rift area, and doing so as the bot lanes have been the island for today, actually. No kills to any of the bot laners.
So are they supposed to focus on kills or on I almost said the bots. And then I remembered it's actually the bottom lane. Never mind, I take back my question.
No, that I think that is a good question though, but usually it's kills that open up opportunities to take objectives on the board.
Okay.
Kills can be good, but it's really what you do with it that counts.
And big fight here is, and Mounds is gonna find that nether grasp here. Now Homosexual is just trying to get away, but there's nowhere to run, and another big fight around this top side objective, and once again, Orange Otters coming out ahead.
Oof, what makes that so strong with Malzahar honestly, that was a great flash from Machine Gun Kirby. Just made it over the wall, close to max range, but gets eaten up as we see the dive under the turret here. Maybe gonna stay alive. No, just doesn't get the Cosmic Radiance off, so will drop under the turret, and that's the first death to the bot lane here. The Caitlyn going down.
And Seraphine getting that CC, pulling back the Caitlyn into the turret, having taken that aggro. Caitlyn was down for the count, and that kill going over to Viger's Vixens.
But honestly, if you're an AD carry lover, this is a game you're enjoying as you guys get to sit and kind of farm for a little while, get those items up and rolling. I think, Sam, you'd be happy with this position. Show up later.
As long as the rest of the map isn't accelerating too hard. It's always, you don't want to show up, I'm ready to go, and you're 2 items down to the rest of the map. Then it really, really feels useless that they've spotted out Homosexual on this ward. So Manifested Agony in to see if they can try to get a counter gank going here in the bot lane. But Homosexual just willing to clear out that ward and go away. So, but are they
this
protected?
Dragon 3. Yeah,
they're ready
definitely
for
going to be
dragon.
contested.
Now they're not thinking about this scuttle at all. Looks like Homosexual's going to grab that one. Oh, but finding
Looks
Tiltree
like Tiltree's pushing that.
Yeah,
Tiltree with the collector.
But it does mean that they have that scuttle vision there. So they're able to go. Now Manifest 90 trying for a lane gank here.
Oh, and we've got someone hiding in this bush here. Bush camping, as it were.
Bush camping for that final circle here on the bot.
Oh, and
bot
in the top lane, Target Lady getting that solo kill there onto third person.
And third person still sticking in the game with the farm here, actually slightly ahead with Aurora pushing into the tower, but we could see 3v3 here. Homosexual sticking around for this dragon. May have the pressure to start it up here too, but one extra person still in that bush.
Both junglers just continuing to hover around this bot lane. They sense that if they leave for a moment, it's going to spell a free dragon. So they're just continuing to kind of stay. The interesting shift, they've brought down Aurora here to join this fight, having sent Malzahar. They do know about Target Lady arriving though, so it looks like they're just going to allow this dragon to go to their opponents.
Yeah, what a switch
So
here.
is that 3 dragons for that team?
That's going to be number 3, yeah.
It's a lot of dragons.
Which means, and then the next...
Personally, I feel like that's a lot of dragons.
It does feel like a lot of dragons when you're playing. The one thing is the next dragon's going to be probably the most important one, as that one will be the soul. So it probably will not see that one go uncontested. It's now Malzahar just shoving in third person. Who has not a lot of...
Oh, they're going to get stopped by the tower.
Oh, forced to go home. So Malzahar showing off that pushing power, already having taken mid.
Yeah,
but
likely going to be able to take the turret.
Healthy.
Yeah. Option to take it, or it looks like walking in to take it, at least pushing that wave in, is going to opt maybe to walk forward. No, we'll walk away from it here. But yeah, a lot of damage to that top tower, and that's, you know, a strong winning lane there. I'm not sure who decided to do the lane swap there, as they're also pushing hard in the bot lane. So I would not be surprised to see maybe the AD carry Caitlyn here rotate towards the mid lane after taking this bot, exert some more pressure elsewhere with how strong the team is.
Queen of Darkness, having just used that bullet time for wave clear, won't have that available as Manifested Agony now. Putting down that charm. Everything followed through in perfect execution. And I think only 1 or 2 tower shots come down. Goodbye, Queen of Darkness.
Beautiful dancing. And I think somehow actually juked both of the Dazzles there. It was very close. But goes down in the end, as we do see Machine Gun Kirby staying pretty healthy here right now in the mid lane. Might have enough pressure to shove this. It's well below quarter of a health. One spot they're gonna want to play around is that mid lane to keep some priority here as Dragon starts to respawn 3 minutes out now.
Mango's getting us more viewers. I just want you guys to know that. She's
Thank
on
you,
stream.
Mango. Oh, Mango, hello.
Wow.
And another
Thanks, Jogon.
flash forward there. And third person goes down. Another grasp. Nowhere to go.
It seems like, hold on, Vygar's Vixens, is that the team name?
Vygar's Vixens.
Vygar's
on red side
Vixens
here, yeah.
is getting caught in 1s and 2s by 3s and 4s a lot, which is really unfortunate because I feel like if they had even numbers, you know, they might not be getting destroyed quite so quickly in these little skirmishes. But it just seems like every time, like right here, we have 4 of Ornn's Otters and, you know, 2 or 3 of Vygar's Vixens, and so, you know, they're just unmatched in that situation.
Nicely giving that over to Caitlyn.
Yeah, just stopping the damage saying, give it right here. Give it to that Caitlyn.
I think you have noticed something pretty important here, Xander, though, is translating that pressure around the map into something tangible. And when you get ahead in your lane and you're able to take the tower, you're able to rotate much faster than the other team. You have more vision, you have more knowledge, and when you can use that to your advantage, that's when you end up in those odd man ganks.
Odd man ganks.
The odd man.
Gank is such a funny word. Okay, so at this point in the game, right, you're Vygar's Vixens. What are you doing? How are you turning this around?
That's what Vygar's Vixens has to ask themselves, and a lot of that is don't get caught, and that's going to start from square one as just establish a vision so that you can try and get as much farm as you can. I mean, right now it's a large deficit that you're in, and your goal is don't let that deficit grow. Now, unfortunately, your opponents are on 3 dragons, and so Ornn's Otters are very, very likely to go for this dragon here shortly, and so if you're on the side of, as I interrupt my thoughts here, as third person has now been surrounded by a couple, getting out of target lady's range, but it's just not enough, unfortunately.
And that's what I was talking about. Finds themselves 3v1, and in a situation like that, there's not much you can do.
You know, the
if they're coming in from...
Yeah, the timing a little off there because Dragon's going up. So I think what they're trying to do perhaps is send this Fiora top, who, you know, it's like, I'm 0-5 team. I'll send top as kind of a distraction while the rest of you go and establish vision, pressure Dragon. Now, unfortunately, they were able to get back down here before Dragon spawned, so it didn't quite work out. But maybe that was the thought process for sending that Fiora out so far.
A sacrifice.
Yeah, try to draw some attention. And now all the attention going on here as a bullet time comes down, which does get a big shutdown. So flashing forward, trying to pick up another onto Manifest Agony. That is the jungler. So you've taken down that jungler, but the Charm turns. So much damage coming back down. But you have this huge Tark who is a monster in this late game, trying to make sure this whole team stays alive. More stuns continue to land, and they're kiting this out for such a long time. Now Target Lady is arriving to join this fight. Misfortune trying to rejoin as well. Another one goes
just
down.
Chasing.
And now Gojo
Oh my gosh, 1 HP.
Fall into that malefic vision.
Ours gets killed though.
What a close back and forth here as Misfortune Queen of Dark is a little too close. And finally, it looks like after everything has settled down, Ornn's Otters takes their gold lead and wins a team fight, which might be Soul.
That most likely will be Soul.
Not as easy as they thought it was going to be, I imagine. It looked like they were sort of caught unawares there.
Yeah, Queen of Darkness knowing they had to stick around there a little while because they're the primary source of damage in that mid-game fight. Both teams were healthy, though, outside of Queen of Darkness, and when Target Lady shows up, it gets a little bit tough with that heavy lead in the top lane, and that will be Soul picked up here. but a ton of damage available from both of these teams. And I think you said it in loading screen there too, Sam. The team comp for Vygar's Vixens, to go back a little bit on Xander's question too, in an ideal world, you've got a Fiora that can split push, and you have 4 champions who have wonderful pick potential and a lot of burst damage. So in ideal circumstances, I think that 1 person top, 4 people mid is a beautiful strategy. They just don't have the vision and the resources right now to execute on it. So they have to play, let's get some vision and just try not to die for a little while till we can get back to that point. And Mango concurs.
She does. She knows a lot about League of Legends.
It's a big fan
She's
of the
friends with
stream.
the Poros.
If you're a big fan of the stream too, why not mosey on over to CMSA eSports, to shop.cmsaesports.com and pick yourself up some swag. Represent.
Is it only mods who can do this? No, I got it. Mango is MVP of the game. It's actually funny because she actually has no what is it called? When you have survival instinct. Yeah, she has none of that.
Self-preservation.
Self-preservation. She has none of that. She's not a fighter. She's a lover. We are following. I believe we're following Vygar's Vixens. Is that correct?
Mhm.
But
That's correct. We're following Vygar's Vixens.
and how does that work if they do not prevail?
We'll keep on with them for the whole night. I think that's
Okay,
the
we'll stay
strategy
with
here. Yeah, we will. If you were watching in Season 14, as we do see another kill go over to this Aurora. If you were watching Season 14, it was our first season trying out that Clash-style bracket, where winners kind of take on winners for the night, and everything magically follows that bell curve. We will likely be doing that the rest of the season, but the first week here is usually kind of just a resetting point for everybody. So we will do the old school style matchups for tonight, not based around wins or losses. But we're going to get a lot of
That is
good
another
matches
red
as
turret
well.
destroyed.
They're running out of places to call home here as we see another bullet time coming for wave clear. But you might be at that point right now.
Yeah, one thing they are doing a great job, though, is making sure that they see any potential traps that their opponents are setting. They've got pretty good, like, just vision control of the jungle, and because of that, they're able to lose kind of as gracefully as possible, which means that they can keep a potential comeback open.
Yeah, we saw that fight in the jungle. It ended up being a long one there when they could keep the AD carry alive. So they still have great opportunities to win these fights if they're not terribly spaced out.
The game has sort of stalled out a little bit. You've got really solid wave clear from Zyra, and then Queen of Darkness not afraid to use that Misfortune ultimate just to slow the pace down to capture that CS and wave clear as well. So it looks like that we're in a bit of a lull right now, and the next big fight is going to be over an Elder or Baron.
It's looking to be about Baron time too, now that you mention it. But yeah, having that Fiddlesticks, look at all the Fiddlesticks vision available to you
So
on
many
the
of those
bot side.
Yeah. Where's the real one? I'm not even sure.
And boy, do I hate that flash when the effigy goes.
The flash one or the
Oh.
ultimate one just slows me down just a little. Do I flash away from this or not? And the answer is yes. Queen of Darkness having to flash away from that Evelyn.
It's
Staying
jump scare
alive.
central. Oh, jump scares and the jukes.
Ooh, in the nick of time, channeling out of there. That would have been rough.
They brought the whole squad bot lane here, and they were looking for Fiora, but third person, well, already on his way to mid lane.
Yeah, and a lot of champions visible on the board right now. A little bit, perhaps Aurora showing bot there for a second. So Vigar's Vixens are pretty aware of where they might be able to get some damage out, and top lane could be a point of contention for them here as we see Crowstorm actually being channeled. That's the real one. Dropping low is our AD carry, but Tilt gonna stay alive through it momentarily. Machine Gun Kirby coming back in for some damage. Mars is gonna try to get themselves out of here. Might actually have the heals to do so, as Dazzle should be back up. There it is, but will not have the health to get out of there. 2 kills over to our team, who was limping a little bit there momentarily, but right back in it, walking strong, standing tall.
Well, Mr. Record,
You know, I love a good underdog story.
And you asked, what do the Vigar Victors need to do? And they did exactly that. They got vision through these effigies, through these pink wards that they were using, and they knew that it was a 2v2 in the top lane, and they took it. And they had 2 massive ults both connect, that Fiddlesticks and that Zyra, and so it was enough. Even with Tark trying to buy him time, it was enough. And now they get a few more kills, which means that they can set up for this dragon. But Manifested Agony has found the target that they're looking for. Third person goes down, and that grasping, or in that Strangled Thorns, missing target. So 2 big ultimates used here as we get ready for an Elder Soul fight.
Yeah, Calvary showing up to peel out of that mid lane, but had already lost one. And I was going to say, these are actually pretty low cooldown ultimates. That Crowstorm back up for the Fiddlesticks just after that fight started breaking out. Bullet time still up here, and there could be many ultimates on the board whenever we choose to start up this Elder Dragon. And it might be soon, as we just lost Fiddlesticks there.
Fiddlesticks going down here. They're going to start it up.
Such a tough spot. Fiddlesticks knowing they have to be in the area to get some vision on this, being down a player, not wanting to give it up while also losing soul earlier, but just not at a spot where they can hold it unless this bullet time can come out.
Oh, the hero bullet time! Just
is Machine Gun Kirby gonna get out? No.
Oh, and going for it though.
Slightly early smite.
Yeah, it was anybody's game.
What a scary one. The blind bullet time from over the wall. I've been in that spot many times as a jungler, and I very rarely convert on my smite for that.
And the Elder Smite does convert as that ace in the hole find its mark and then burns. Down you go, Seraphine. And now the siege is on. Orange Otters completely taking over the base of Vigar's Vixens.
This looks like pretty end game. Is that...
There's a snap. Well, the snap already happened. We are at the end game.
It's definitely a last minute. There's probably no more bases. You have Elder. You're going for it here. Third person. Smiting down. Target Lady trying to dive forward. Queen of Darkness can no longer get away. And it goes back to safety though, but the siege still continues. 5 members of Orange Otters are in the base. There's that Crowstorm coming down, not finding any targets. And now Elder's Smite available. There's 1. There's 2. And that Nexus soon to follow. Orange Otters taking game number 1 of Season 15.
Wow.
How exciting.
First victors of the season.
Yeah, in a game that looked like they were pulling so far ahead was Orange Otters. We saw the Vigar Vixens ready to fight back in the whole time, doing exactly what they needed to do to stay relevant in that matchup. And for a second there, it looked like they might have been able to jump right back into it. But we love seeing teams hanging in, fighting to the bitter end. So exciting to watch.
And look at that. Look at this damage coming out. Incredibly, Machine Gun Kirby putting up such a fight there for Vigar's Vixens. We'll continue to watch them and throughout the night. But 23,000 damage, topping all scores. But of course, Orange Otters ultimately coming out ahead. It was just a huge team effort there to send attention to the top side early, kind of let bot lane just be an island. Tiltry and Mars doing a great job there, just kind of taking it over by themselves. Any plays, any moments stand out to you from that, and either of you from that game?
Before we do that, can we put a third camera on this overlay? potentially.
Well, we'll look into that. I think there were so many good plays in the early games that I was watching too. That repeat gank up to the top lane, so powerful for that Evelyn. And I think that was a big contributor in getting that early advantage, which translated into getting the Aurora down into the other team fights, down into the dragon control. Hello, stream. It's good to see everybody. That for me, I think kind of helped sealed that game when they were able to turn around and at least make a play onto the Void Grubs. I'm of course biased looking at our junglers running around, but it was excellent to see those ganks going top there.
I think my favorite moment was that double kill by Baggers Vixens there at the end by Machine Gun Kirby, and I'm forgetting who else was up there, but I think that, in most games, honestly, when you have that opportunity, it's always best to just kind of go for it, especially when you're kind of on the underdog side of things. And it's so important to know when to push and when to aggress, and take those moments, even though you might not be in the best position or whatever. And I think that was great to see from Vygar's Vixens.
All right, and with all of those remakes, hopefully we can jump into game number 2 relatively
But
shortly.
you have to choose the player of the game.
Oh, is that official?
Yeah, Xander, who was the player of the game?
Let's go ahead and do
I
that.
don't know. No, one of you has to choose the player of the game. It would be such a
No,
disservice
I
for me
have
to
to.
choose
I
the
have
player
to
of
hear
the game.
yours. I have to hear your thoughts first.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Okay. So was Mars the one doing those shields?
Mm-hmm.
Mars on Tark. Yep.
Okay. So then I'm gonna say Mars was coming in real strong with the support and some really really key moments that could have been very deadly for their team, but was right there to kind of counteract these very strong ultimates and attacks in ways that were pretty devastating to the other team, and then flipped the narrative, and then Tiltery was able to come in with Caitlyn and some really strong range damage, and that all together was just kind of devastating for Vygar's Vixens. So that duo, to me, Tiltery and Mars would have to be dual players of the game.
All right, Fortnite. Those are real people's names and a beautifully vague description, but I agree with you. I think it was fantastic. Specifically, there was that one dive in the bot lane where I think they took 1 or 2 tower shots, if that, juggling out the aggro very, very quickly. Mars, I think, landing a beautiful dazzle, with I think maybe both of their dazzles landing simultaneously, and also surviving the gank early on with that cosmic radiance, stepping forward. I love seeing anybody step forward to avoid some damage back into the enemy just long enough to get the heals and the shields off. But I don't know, Sam, where are you standing on our player of the game here?
No, I mean the action was all over. I do want to throw it though to this Aurora. You had just Target Lady in the top lane on Aurora that was, I mean, you've not had a lot of time to even learn this champion, let alone just score so many kills like that. And so I don't know if so I think definitely one of the contentions is to think about how this top lane was played, and Target Lady also made some great, just I don't know if it was Target Lady's decision or if it was a team decision to switch Malzahar with their top laner midway through around that second or third or around a third dragon fight, which was very very instrumental in securing that, because you had this very well fed, well farmed Aurora coming down out of the top lane and saying, all right, I've shown you I can do it in the 1v1, now let me show you what I can do in a team fight.
Yeah, that's a good call. That rotation coming out in the mid game there, where you had basically a stalemate mid lane. If anything, I would say the Zyra, Machine Gun Kirby Zyra, might have been a little bit ahead in the push game, and certainly in the CS for a little while. So you take that advantage. You have top game or top lane rotate your top lane or mid lane, and now you've pushed an advantage and broken a stalemate. So it worked out very, very well. I still don't know what Aurora does. I was trying to watch closely there, but there was a lot of flashings and circles happening, and it was all very scary. I think the chat told us that's exactly what happens. So that's exactly what happened.
A lot of circles and flashing and very scary. You did just call me out for a very vague description, and I want to call you right back out because that doesn't mean anything in a lot of ways.
It sounds as though I could use a little bit of research into Aurora's gameplay. Between Worlds, I think, is the ultimate. Couldn't tell you what it does. That's the extent of my research.
Oh, that's more.
I also think I can scroll back in chat earlier to you saying somebody crash course me Aurora. So that is actually true that you don't know really anything about it. So 1 for 1 here on the vague descriptions.
I give you everything I got here, friends.
So that I don't have to use the vague description of bot side blue and top side red, we've got this time on the blue side, who's matching up against Vager's Vixens?
So we've got Helton's team, which is, give me 1 second, Vygar's Vixens still. Wait. Wait a second. Something's wrong.
Well, while you sort that out, I'll take a look at our
Oh,
bands.
no, I was just wrong the first time. We were talking about Vygar's Vixens when we should have been talking about Zyra's Zaddies.
Fabulous.
In a funny change of events, and nobody caught it in stream or anywhere else.
Wow.
Which I could have just not said anything, and I could have switched them, and maybe no one would have been the wiser. So now we get to decide if we want to keep it at Vygar's Vixens or we want to change to Zyra's Zaddies.
It's Zyra's Zaddies.
Which is actually the name of third person in Machine Gun Kirby's team.
Okay, the team we've been following. All right, thank you. And who are
beautiful?
Do we know who they're taking on?
They're taking on Vygar's Vixens.
The
real Vygar's Vixens.
Very Scooby-Doo.
This is the new reformed roster of Vygar's Vixens for Game 2, which of course will feature Kung Pao. We've got Zage here. Zage, I think, new to the league. Welcome, Zage. Dirk, Moms Are Tough, and Benjamin Highlight. So definitely a good team here, a good matchup for what I think is our returning Zyra Zaddies, formerly, of course, Vygar's Vixens.
In fact, our returning Zyra Zaddies. So it's funny because it wasn't like, yeah, anyway. It's fine. So Oran's Otters, yeah. Anyway. This is Vygar's Vixens versus Zyra Zaddies. And we hope it's not too confusing for you who are watching.
If you're just tuning in, this is in fact Vygar's Vixens versus Zyra Zaddies for the first time today.
If you're just tuning in, it's easy. So, looking at the picks and the bans here real quick. Once again, of course, you've got that Lux ban. I have to call that out because we love to see that happen. Keeps the streak going at 2 for 2 here in week number 1. And kind of the core, we're going to see Twitch carrying on the side of Vygar's Vixens. Alongside that Zillion, who likely will be supporting that Twitch. Some fun interactions you can do with the bombs and the stealth. Of course, having that chrono shift to keep your ADC alive is always great. And Trundle,
I have
very
a question
strong
here.
in that top lane. What's your question?
Yeah, I was gonna say Trundle. Isn't Helton famously very good at Trundle? Isn't this like a thing?
Yeah, this is the word on the street that is overwhelmingly loud and correct. And the one thing I hate more than an invisible Twitch coming at me with an invisible bomb is a sped up Kelton Trundle running at me. Also quite scary. Pillar available to slow you down.
What about both of those at the same time?
Would you like that? I'd love to see it, and I'm hoping we're going to get to see it here as we do see an Aurora band come out. Very wise. This is also a comfort pickup here for third person. That's right, because this is Zyra Zaddies. I've got myself confused now. Yes, for third person in the top lane on the Alawi. So comfort pick going there. Machine Gun Kirby getting the Malzahar, also comfort pick. So we're looking pretty comfortable on both sides, actually. And a Lulu comes out. So that might be the Zillion mid, perhaps.
So I'm interested. Do you think that these champions were not banned because maybe people are new to the league, maybe didn't know what to expect, or do you think they were more worried about other champions?
I'm going to say it's probably a little of both, but also week one, I think people tend to be friendly to letting some champs get through, and honestly, that's the time to figure out what people are playing. So let them have their champ. Let's see what's going on. Stats don't matter. This is week one. We'll see the hardcore pick and ban start up next week here.
Yeah,
But yeah, we're
and if you are someone who is known for a pick, or you have a pick ban away all the time, now's your chance to really prove it. If they're gonna leave it open, you gotta throw down and show, okay, this is why you banned it against me.
yeah. Make sure to remind me why Kung Pao should not be on Trundle, as if I've forgotten.
I'm excited to see it because I find him scary in games where Trundle is banned. And I think that, last season he was just absolutely decimating. So excited to see him come out with his preferred champion tonight. Which I'm so sorry to Zyra Zaddies. And I hope that it's not devastating.
Oh, the alleged Zyra Zaddies, I think it's their
The
team
alleged
name,
Zyra Zaddies, who's the real Vygar's Vixens? Let's see. Whoever wins this game gets to be Vygar's Vixens.
But looking at last game too, where we had almost an untouched bot lane for the first, 15 minutes there. Ganks attempted, but we've got a lot of scaling options here now. You've got, of course, Misfortune, who's going to play well most parts of the game as long as they're not shoved in, like we saw last game. But also the Senna, so you've got a little bit of a pocket pick moving in to the late game here with a Poppy front line. Can put out some damage and keep them pretty safe. Malzahar also able to provide some peel in a team fight, so expecting to get some good bullet times off here, maybe, although this is a bit of an elusive enemy. Talia able to do a knock up to prevent some of that damage. Lulu able to polymorph, and is Gigantify the name of what's the ultimate there?
Lulu, Wild Growth.
Gigantify.
Wild Growth.
Wild
there
Growth.
we go. Wild Growth comes through. A little rusty over here. Wild Growth can come out to protect you from some of that damage. And of course, you have a Zillion. So a very resilient enemy here is Vygar's Vixens with another tanky frontline running at you in Trundle. So I'm excited for us to get to some of these team fights and hear Xander call them out as they're going. I want to hear the Gigantify call.
Will I know? Is that something that I'm gonna be picking up on?
We'll try to highlight the Gigantify for you so you can see it in all its glory.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see it.
I'm worried you're putting too much faith in me.
We're likely to see a gigantified Twitch, gigantic rat, and I certainly hope though we see a very fast and very large Trundle barreling down on Senna, Malzahar, and Misfortune.
Mm-hmm. One can only hope.
So does his icon or his little guy get physically bigger?
Yes, and I believe it's Lulu also yells hugify, not gigantify.
Lulu yells hugify, really?
Yeah, I think hugify is the word for it.
Hugify.
That's actually hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Xander,
Gigantify is so much better.
You may have lost video feed momentarily too.
Oh, we did it on purpose. Sorry.
Oh, beautiful.
Because I was grabbing a drink. We're back.
Two, please.
You want one? I'm about 3 hours away.
Well, we are certainly less than 3 hours away from the start of Game 2, Season 15, everybody. Up and rolling as we do see the lanes shake out here. This will be, let's see where they start running here. Potentially Zillion top. Lulu definitely heading to the bot lane for support here, picking up the support item.
Oh, these guys are so fast. Oh, they're bush camping.
Yeah, it's an early game buff. I don't know if it's still called home guards in the early game, but you get a buff when you first run out of the base.
Oh, I was gonna say, why are they so fast? They're skittering all over the place.
Home start, the name of that that buff.
Home
apparently.
start.
Home start. Yeah.
Oh, no longer home guards. So we see a 5-point spread here for the most
Are they emoting?
They're dancing.
They're yeah, same thing.
Dancing early on.
Okay.
I've seen some repeat champions here tonight now, but Xander, who would you recommend as the strongest champions in League right now?
Well, I know about 3. So, I mean, we saw one last game, one of my favorites, which is Caitlyn. I love her range, but it feels like she doesn't lose power. Usually ranged, like, characters, I feel like they have the range, but it's like they're less powerful because of that. But I feel like she packs a punch. I also like Ziggs because he just throws little bombs everywhere. What a cool little guy. I would not say those are the most powerful, but they're just the ones I know.
The most powerful that you know.
Yeah. I know there's other ones that are like everybody loves, like everybody bans Lux. That must be for a reason, you know. I know that I know your favorite is Master Yi. I don't know how good he is because I've never seen you play him because they always ban him right away. I don't know.
He's not strong. Don't ban him.
I don't believe that.
I think one of my favorite things all the way back for our I think our April Fool's stream we did when we had some casters switch around was hearing what people thought was good or was happening during the game. And I think one of the suggestions was that flying champions have some sort of different movement abilities or can move faster. What would you say should be added from other games into League of Legends, Xander?
Like, oh man. That's a good question.
Is it builds
I feel like
from Fortnite?
No. We're 0 builds only here. But something that could be fun, it's not full builds, but like items that you could like throw down to change the terrain would be really interesting, I think. To change or manipulate the terrain around you. And give you a little more control over like your surroundings would be really interesting.
Oh, there are a few champions that can add terrain, but not a ton that manipulate terrain. So one of them is Trundle here. Can put a little pillar on the ground, which is treated as terrain and also has a slow, as we see probably running.
Oh my god!
Maybe use it now. That is a scary looking Trundle.
Yeah, what is going on?
Although, really, Viger's Vixens came ready to play. They've got complete skin coordination. All of them going for that kind of ice or blue kind of color scheme on the side of Viger's Vixens here.
And their little overlay is blue as well, so that matches up perfectly.
Zillion just in the top lane cooking, but we see the pillar drop down here. Queen of Darkness in a bad spot, taking a lot of bites. A chomp about to come through. Gets the flash away. Gets the shield. Was that a barrier coming through?
It was indeed that barrier and flash both used to save Queen of Darkness' life there.
I'm willing to walk in here.
Oh no.
Yeah,
homosexual though is suffering.
Trying to push back.
They said stay away.
Yeah, the HP bars here on Viger Jackson is just too much. That means they're going to crash this big old wave here. And Queen of Darkness is going to have to let it go by, let it go to the Senna here, who scales pretty well with it as well.
Very true.
But Zyra's daddies, formerly Vigar's Vixens, of course, they pulled back. They said, no, we're not having early losses this game. We are going to play it a little safer. We are going to build up. We're changing the strategy a little bit, and we're not going to be caught in these really unmatched skirmishes this game.
So far, yeah. And one thing that Kung Pao did excellently on that trundle is secured that top scuttle crab, moved through mid looking for something, didn't find it, secured bot scuttle crab, and then went all the way finishing through in bot lane and scoring some summoners. No kills yet.
Yeah, so ends up slightly ahead in farm. Now that farm is due to the creeps taken in lane slightly and not so much the actual jungle farm in the end, it looks like. Or was that
now,
just a
tell me
scuttle
about
advantage?
these weird little tentacles that we saw.
Yeah, definitely a scuttle advantage here, and also because Poppy does have an extra camp to their name here at Homosexual now. They've spotted Homosexual out, who wants to try and make something happen in the top lane.
Now we'll walk up here and you'll get to see the tentacles come out. So these are the passive tentacles that, as you see, get spawned for Alawi. Alawi is going to look for basically one thing in their entire kit. That's to get those tentacles out, and then they need to land their E. And that's the entire kit of Alawi. It's the Test of Spirit, which is this pull. It's going to pull the soul right out of the enemy as we see a fight breaking out here around.
Kung Pao trying to pull the soul right out of Homosexual, but once again a flash play by this Malzahar, another grass land, which means
two more flashes.
Kung Pao, but Kung just staying alive, 11 HP from that chop, just enough to keep him going. And now Moms are tough, trying to turn it back on Machine Gun Kirby. Come here, let me hit one more Malefic Vision. Not enough.
Could not run
looking
fast enough.
Over their shoulder, getting the last chomp there to stay alive. And what a great defensive move from Machine Gun Kirby to come in and hit that ultimate to maybe keep Homosexual alive. Almost turned around the fight, but ended up worse for wear in the end. We love to see team play, though.
Yeah, I think that, again, Zyra Zaddy's, formerly Pygar's Vixens, is still showing that they are great team players, and they're really backing each other up no matter what. They said, we will be here together, win or lose.
And they're together in the bot lane here as Benjamin Highlife just barely keeping Dirk alive after they score one kill already on to Queen of Darkness. Goji Daddy.
Dirk actually
Goji Daddy
leveling
said,
up.
Okay, we're in it.
The level up was in.
Back.
I saw the barrier. The level up just enough, huh?
Just enough with no mana left on Lulu. And we've seen a team with, looks like a lot of great mechanics here from both of these teams, with the flashes as well, too, in every single one of these fights, really holding off until the last second to use it. So we're getting some good fight mechanics early on. And again, that's what I want to see in this game. I want to see these two teams go at it.
And they certainly are. They certainly are going at it. I will say that for sure.
Well, and with the little rift scuttlers now down, it means that only Dragon is up, and Zyra Zaddy's has the advantage on it early, but Dirk has the jump on Queen of Darkness here, using that stealth or that camouflage to go in. And it is such a big opening for Twitch here against any immobile ADC. You cannot be alone. You forget about Twitch for 1 second, you're seeing a gray screen.
Yes, very, very tough with that that stealth mechanic running in there, but also Lulu offering so much utility. You've got the Whimsy available. You've got help picks putting down extra damage when you put it onto your AD carry, and that's what a great combination, the Rat and the Lulu together.
Here we have Machine Gun Kirby and Moms Are Tough battling it out in the jungle, it looks like, but Home of Sexual is coming over here to support as well. Looks like they're turning the tables on their. Oh no! But here's Kelton.
Yeah, Kung Pao in the area says, "I will protect you." I think he was waiting just to see if there was something to erupt first, and then kind of join as a surprise. But they did not bite to the fight, so it means that the attention will be put on the Dragon here.
Oh,
yeah, Homosexual, I think maybe
he's
stepping
lurking
out slightly into vision.
Does he know that there's 4 members of Zyra Zaddy's just around the corner?
They know that they have vision control for sure, so definitely looking to play this slowly, and you get that jungler mentality that says, let me just go back and farm a little bit, as there it is. We see the soul ripped out.
Ooh.
Yeah, that test of
But this does feel like perhaps a distraction. because the rest of the team, as we know, is all gathered by this dragon.
Yeah, they have good positioning.
They are likely going to get.
Oh, goodbye.
Yep.
Good.
Get out of here.
The keeper's verdict. Setting away.
Yeah, it's third person was a distraction for that, which we saw kind of flipped from last game. They were the victims of such a play, and now they're over here turning it on the other team's head and saying, no, we're kind of controlling the dragons this game.
That's a very good point. That's kind of where third person wanted to be last game, playing the split push Fiora. Still a split pusher is Alawi, just a little bit of a bruiser type instead of a pure fighter. But it's going to continue to keep pushing that pressure into the top lane. Looks like they're going to crash another wave right as we're getting some spawning on the top side. So they might be able to turn this pressure into an objective, as we do see the TP come out for the Zillion.
So it seems, in terms of farm and kills, we've got Vygar's Vixens, the real Vygar's Vixens, are ahead in both, but it does feel like things are very balanced right now to me. Zyra's Zaddies are kind of working together as a team, and you see them getting a lot of objectives. They're in the jungle, they're doing things. So, does it feel to you guys that this is pretty balanced right now? How's it feeling?
Well, you can see it's clearly very balanced. 2v2 here, but the ultimate come down. Another graph gonna lock down. Moms are tough, but Kung Pao right in there to deliver the damage, and now just beaten away with that clubber, that scimitar in this skin. Oh, but homosexual. Oh, the sidestep.
Juked it.
The verdict is not.
Oh
not
my
guilty.
gosh.
Kung Pao going through, trying to turn this one around.
Oh, he's got a good lawyer. That one survives the verdict.
That was amazing from homosexual.
Yeah, a great spot here for Kelvin. I think this is securing a fifth grub.
This is number 5.
Oh, but third person might be coming around.
But there's no smite available here for Kung Pao quite yet. Third person gonna lay in. He secures that 5th grub.
Oh.
Now you gotta fight an Alawi. Get ready to run.
Ready to just dip out of here. Yeah.
Goodbye.
So it ends up being very, very strong play, and I think we're starting to see that advantage being pressed here. Flip it back and say it's five Void Grubs over to the real Zyra's Addies. That's very scary. Especially with third person being so strong right now, to have that kind of pushing power, that's a big move for them to pick up.
And don't
all
sleep
5
on
grubs.
Machine Gun Kirby, who on that Malzahar, the last thing you want is even more pushing power. Talia can only wave clear against that for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And Machine Gun Kirby's had a lot of really good plays, and, was kind of a sacrifice in that moment for homosexual to get out.
Speaking of sacrifice, a huge damage from Dirk and a self-delivery service. Moms are tough, not missing these knockups. Dirk gonna go in deep for maybe one more. Not gonna be in contaminate range. Is gonna contaminate. Goodbye.
Just waiting.
Wow, could not get away this time.
Great roam from Moms Are Tough. Gets back before the turret goes down to this Malzahar. 2 easy kills there onto the side of Vygar's Vixens.
So we see the real Vygar's Vixens coming up a little on top right now with farm, and kills again are pretty much only on Vygar's Vixen side. So you got to wonder what's next in the plans for Zyra's Zaddies right now.
I think we are in a slightly different spot for the real
Very
Zyra's Zaddies than we were last game. This game, you have third person with a massive lead in the top lane, and that allows you to play to absorb some of the pressure elsewhere. You've got all your towers standing minus the bot lane right now, so you haven't been shoved in yet, as we see potentially another kill or a first kill going over to third person, who's going to have to fight their way out here. Does not have the mana necessarily to take on the Trundle. Will wisely leave
under that blue tower. I think that's our new player. Very low, but just surviving under this tower.
Yeah, as long as they have ultimate available with Zilean, you're not too worried. And saved it there during that fight as Kelton ready to take on a fight here in the mid. Hits the
Comes out
pillar.
of nowhere.
Perhaps should be worried as
Turning this
power
fight.
arrives, so much damage there, and Dirk going unstoppable with 5th kill secured, and with that Lulu on support duty, it's gonna be so difficult to take down this very fed Twitch. And but that's one of the ways that Zyrazati has to get back into this game, is try to start securing some of these shutdowns.
I mean, Goji Daddy is not giving this up. They're saying, you know, I'm waiting till my teammates come back, but you know, has to just keep pushing back because they're so low health, and that's going to be it for them, I think.
Yeah, gonna drop there in the end as the rest of the team slowly goes up. We do see there's a Hugify come out. I think might have been okay, but definitely to protect. That is a big troll and an icy looking one too.
Huge.
We get a second tower dropping in mid, so we're starting to see the conversion from gold lead, kill lead to advantage on the board, but still, Zyrazati's having both dragons down right now in their favor, so they still have angles here to work this game.
Yeah, if I were Zyrazati's, I would not be feeling necessarily hopeless at all. I think that, you know, they still definitely have the chance to come back and show us the meaning of real teamwork. You know, we love a good CMSA teamwork story. I'll tell you that.
Where are we at for Senna stacks at some point too? I think that might be one of those tickets. A good starving Senna. We see Poppy floating towards the top lane now, maybe playing around that advantage. 47 Absolution stacks, it looks like. So starting to grow ever stronger. Gank coming down. We see Twitch deciding to show up top lane. Homosexual hiding in the bush. They're going to move on to Zage here. Gets the ultimate. Will stay alive. Third person in a great spot for that leap of faith. But no, all the damage from the spray spray coming through. Maybe survives. Gets the shutdown. Massive shutdown. And that's a worthwhile kill. But Talia says, I want to join this fight as well. Jumping right on top. Going to take down the big Alawi. Machine Gun Kirby ready to help out as we see that Spirit dying there. But no Alawi alive to help the fight. Will get a tentacle splashing, and I think it's time to just turn tail and run away from this one. Let's take our kill and walk home.
What an important kill. They got the one. They got that first kill on the board here at just around 18 minutes, and it went to the right person here. And his third person, who with a big creep lead over their lane opponent.
It actually went to the third person, actually.
Exactly.
The third party.
And now,
you must have misread.
And Alawi with a gold lead can do so much work on that split push. That's a very, very important pickup for Zyrazati's.
Yeah, that Alawi looks like initially
that immediate team support as well. It looked like it was about to be over, and then all of a sudden you get 2 more team members come up with full health, and you're like, well, actually this might be ending a little different.
Yeah, honestly, even after getting that first kill and looking like they were going to have to turn away, Alawi still having some damage coming through with all those tentacles up. The harsh lesson jumping on top of people, almost surviving to get another kill there. And if they were even just a little bit stronger, they may have been able to turn it around. It looks like they opted for the Spirit Massage to survive that early game, which is how they got this lead and how they're continuing to push this lead. So maybe going to pick up some damage here very soon as Machine Gun Kirby, knowing they should play around third person, opts to be up here in this top lane, but so is Moms Are Tough. Maybe the first knockback I've seen miss as third person walks away just to the side. Third person ready to rumble.
I mean, look at this. It's a team down 12-1. They only have, it's a 2v3, and it's the side of Zyrazati's that are altogether the aggressors here as they bring up a third to even the numbers with Homosexual now waiting, but it shows you how strong Machine Gun Kirby and third person are.
So strong, able to absorb all that damage. Does get knocked back, but it's just going to heal a lot of this right back up, and that's the power of the Spirit Massage now.
I mean, that was so impressive to see, you know, and
Oh.
they're taking their moments to push.
What a disgusting grab there. That Tessa Spirit diving between the minions as we see, oh no, Dirk coming in strong, looking for the flash, does pick up the kill there, but does take the top lane tower down, and you're right, 13-1 down in kills, but still so strong here behind third person.
Now the question is, are they going to send their strong laner out to continue this Doom push, or are they going to recall and head to try to do something around this dragon?
This is very scary. Nothing takes towers quite like a ramped up Trundle, but nothing does it faster than a Trundle with a rat on its back. Trundle, oh, what a beautiful, beautiful pillar. Just locks home out. Thinking they could walk just around it. Couldn't skirt around. Too big is that Yordle.
Dragon now on the table. You see Zage coming down here from the top lane. Kung Pao trying to run away from an entire team here, looking to collapse onto this dragon. Not a lot of vision really established for either side around this objective.
This is a stooped up rat that's about to run in here, though. 8-1 is Twitch. Just went back and bought 3-item power spike with boots. So if they can get that initial jump, that initial positioning out of Dirk, who is sitting in the back line waiting for it at this point, that might determine how this fight goes, as we do see Zyra's Addies are the ones starting this behind that big wall that is third person.
It started up this dragon. Dirk now is
Hunting.
looking with that deadly venom. Opens up here, 2 down already, but caught with that bullet time. Wild growth coming around though, keeping Dirk alive.
Oh,
Now just
wow.
charging forward on the reset. It's a complete massacre here by Vigard's Vixens. 3 kills for Dirk and a dragon.
That's tough. Third person gonna try to do a little bit of handiwork on the backside. Will also drop quadra kill over to Dirk. Dirk's so strong. Great positioning from Dirk coming in, getting the damage onto pretty much everybody, and has the Hurricane there to continue to proc it on that front line. But honestly, a great turnaround attempt from Zyra Zaddy, getting the stun and the bullet time directly back in the face of Dirk, but just didn't have the damage. Goji trying to keep him alive here.
Unfortunately, at 12,000 gold, I mean, just the item discrepancy between these two teams, especially the carries, is just huge. Dirk, Runin's Hurricane, Infinity Edge already completed, got 3 items, whereas that Queen of Darkness only on that 1 Bloodthirster. And so it's just so difficult to fight back when you just don't have the stats of your opponents, as Zyra Zadis continues the siege in the bot lane.
Here's a back to pick up probably quite a few items. I'm sure there's a lot of gold sitting around at this point, so they have the opportunity. Oh, Moms Are Tough does get caught just a little bit here. I think we'll be able to get away. Ultimate is available, so not too worried at the end of the day, but we're going to hunting. The heal comes out just for the speed boost. Gonna be able to kite third person just a little bit. Those are the kind of picks you kind of have to look for at this point, though, for Zyra Zaddies.
I keep having to go back and look and like confirm who Zyra Zaddies is and who
Never heard of him.
who Vigor's Vixens is.
Just say Vigor's Vixens, you'll be right every time. And perhaps the right
It's so true.
perhaps the right call here is to start up this Baron. There's really not much that Zyra Zaddies can do about this. They have absolutely no vision of what's going on.
Yep. Right place, I think, is third person, though, to just be in that bot lane. Let me take back the tower. There's no point of going in dark into the Baron pit, and you're pretty safe over there. I've already seen you fight 3v2 and be winning the matchup, so as long as it's not the Twitch they're sending at you right now, you might be okay momentarily.
And Chroma make an appearance in chat. Hello, Chroma. We miss you. We love you. The news stream is amazing. I love all the layout, things that have been done.
Yeah, the overlay is awesome.
So beautiful. The new logo down in the corner, right? It's hard to take your eyes off Sam, but if you look just to the left, new logo up and running. matching the tie too. Verdict here just missing off to the side, trying to push Kung Pao out of there so they can't take the turret, but third person looking to turn around some damage here. Kung Pao running blocker, knowing that as long as the E's down, they can go straight in for a fight, and will do so, pillaring off third person. Leap of Faith coming through, and more damage, pushing third person back directly into them. Third person gets a ton of damage off on that Alawi, almost dropping Kung Pao here post-mortem. But now Dirk is in the area, ready to put out some damage, and we're just trying to save this turret at this point.
Third person so huge, but just not enough, unfortunate. I mean, I'm shocked at how long third person on that Alawi was able to just stay alive in the middle of that fight, but you can only survive for so long against Twitch with these kind of items.
And it looks like that ultimate just there might have missed.
Oh, Dirk hitting in the backline, just waiting, hunting prey at this point. Homosexual looking to go in and provide a little bit of damage here, but will end up dropping as Zillion saves themselves. And we will see the last bit of damage to this inhibitor. Nexus turret 1 dropping, another wave of minions being empowered now by the Baron buff, dropping the second tower, but third person continuing to land these soul channels through the minion wave. So comfortable, so good on this champion here. As we come just to the end of the game, this is game 2 for season 15 in the books. Vigars Vixens against Vigars Vixens.
And Vigars Vixens wins it in a shocking turn of events. And let me say, 24-2 may have been the final score of that game, but it sure felt closer than that for most of that run.
It felt very close.
And
man, so, I know that the general trend is to pick a, player of the game from the winning team, but man, third person. Am I right?
That's so true. So true. Staying with being the pillar, trying to keep the team going. But I think that's also partly what they were picking for and pick ban, as we said. We got third person, we've got Alawi available, comfort champion for you. This is kind of what we tried back when we were under different management. We try to get the split push going. I think we have a stronger champion for it here, and just didn't play out exactly as they needed to. But man, I will also say moms are tough, landing a ton of those very hard to hit Talia skill shots. It's not something I'm able to do ever. Actually, I can get hit by them just fine, but not so much with landing them.
See, I'm a big fan of ultimates that are hard to miss.
But a lot of good cohesions for both those teams. Again, we saw early game, we had Machine Gun Kirby willing to flash forward to land the ultimate to protect their own jungler. We've seen this both games using that ultimate very, very strong. Well, not on the Malzahar first game, Zyra first game, Malzahar second game. And then rotating to the top lane to protect third person, who was ahead at that point and could continue to push a lead despite being in a mismatched lane at that point, staring down 2 enemies. Oh, and the cats are here.
Yeah, sorry, chat wanted to see the cats, so had to bring Mango out.
Chat's here for cats, and we're here for chat. So this works out.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that I'm so impressed by Zyra Zaddies, formerly Vigars Vixens, and their ability to just keep playing as if things are even when they're behind. It was very impressive.
Yeah, they finally found the kills. They found the shutdowns. Definitely, we're trying some of that trickery to make things happen. Homosexual and that Poppy just would constantly be kind of hunting around looking to see, do I need to take someone out of the fight with that ultimate? Do I need to stay in the bush and not reveal myself until the right moment? They were trying to make some plays. They did get some shutdowns. They got some, especially turret shutdowns. Unfortunately, fallen a little short there in game 2.
Yeah,
I think that bush camping is so valid too. I think it's such a good strat. That's the Fortnite terminology.
It's all about vision, and like I think that one of the things I'd like to see in game number 3 is really to see does Zyra's daddies can they make sure that they're establishing vision, and they make sure that they are in control of the map, so they're not getting surprised by anything that their opponents are doing, so that they can kind of go on their own terms. I felt like they did a really great job of that early on around both objectives. They knew when they had good opportunities to take the dragons. They were able to get out to that 2-dragon lead. Unfortunately, some of the little skirmishes were tough because you've got a king, a troll of the skirmishes there with Kung Pao moving around. It's just hard to win an early 2v2 and 3v3 against that champion, and they were opting into some of those fights that just did not go their way.
Yeah, fights not landing there, but again, they were 2 dragons up this game too, so it was good to see that pushback and maybe even a little bit of a map advantage despite the kill advantage or the kill disadvantage there. So definitely a strong battle out of our newly formed Zyra's Zaddies.
And who are they going to be taking on game 3? Zyra's Zaddies, not Viger's Vixens, surely.
The third virus Vixens. The third iteration of Vigar's Vixens. The real Vigar's Vixens, actually. Let's see. Wouldn't that be hilarious? It is Kaisa's Kittens that they are taking on today. Which means that we won't get to see Shrimp Wheels play, which I'm really sad about because what a name. Shrimp Wheels? Come on.
Yeah, fantastic.
Almost as good as Cheesecake. Like
Cheesecake, very good. I believe
Taco Loki. I don't know. League names are just better. My favorite, my personal favorite.
Couscous?
Yeah. Oh.
I believe Shrimp also goes by Saint Dizzy. So often for a secondary great name too.
Joe Gunn in chat said, Shrimp Wheels 25 sounds like a Fortnite bot name to me. So true. Cheesecake. Oh, I'm not saying that on stream, actually.
Cheesecake.
I started reading
it's a different spelling.
Yeah, cheesecake.
Oh my god, Shrimp Wheels is in the chat. Hi, Shrimp Wheels. I'm your biggest fan.
Okay, so we jump into pick ban of final game, game 3, and look at that, Lux 3 for 3 on opening night with the bans.
Like, everyone just will not, not even day one, we're not going to let anybody play Lex.
It's everyone automatically has a signature champion named Lux, so it's just easier to ban it than let everyone be on their comfort pick.
Everyone likes Lux?
Of course. Everyone in every position.
She is versatile in lane assignment and has other redeeming qualities.
I played as her once and sucked. So, but that's probably just me.
No point and clicks unless you're some of our players, which make when you can make Lux abilities look like point and click abilities, then you get Lux banned, and there's enough players that can do that you just get those Lux bans.
especially interweaving those autos to get the passive procs off. The actual damage, similar. A lot of the champions have that though. Caitlyn has some pretty explosive combos when you do it correctly, which I do not do, and we will see Caitlyn here again. And the correct use of headshot procs.
Huge Caitlyn fan. Skippy McSkipper has got it right with the Caitlyn pick. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that's gonna go down to Medaio as AD carry hero. This is a pretty flexible team. My guess is this is Durg to the top lane, Trish to the jungle, Skippy mid, Medaio AD carry, and Portions support. Prove me wrong though.
Okay,
Kaisa's
so
Kittens and or Vigar's Vixens.
what you're saying is that Skippy McSkipper can pick a champion and then give it to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. For a low price of 800 V-Bucks, he could share his champion.
Oh, we have another Lulu as well.
Strong pickup in Lulu. We saw how that plays out in the last matchup, and that was a double support top, support bot. Very scary. And a new challenger has entered the arena, perhaps the Monkey King himself, Wukong, being hovered.
And Lock
will get luck.
Yeah, see where that goes. Likely in the top lane, but can move around perhaps. I'm excited to see this Xayah here picked for Zyra's Zaddies. I know I'm just playing a little bit of Xayah in Swarm, one of my favorite pickups in that game mode, and it's just made me renewed to play a few more Xayah games, and she definitely holds up, especially against these team compositions that like to be played like these front to back big team fights. Xayah with all those blade daggers down can just get so much value as they return and crit and can really win a team fight. Shaco though as a third pick. Now that is interesting.
That is undoubtedly a homosexual pickup in the jungle here. Big Shaco player, or comfort Shaco player, ready to fall back to it as needed. As we see split pushers dropping now, Urgot from earlier, Yorick now, Alawi, Kale. Those are targeted bans over to our favorite top laner here from last game, this third person. And this is the Pearl League, so we do have a no 3-ban system in the first round in every matchup. So you can only target ban a single person twice in the first round. After that, it's fair game. If you wanted a champ, you should have picked it in the first round. So from here on out, fair to target whomever you'd like. So we see Syndra and Teemo dropping down. Final ban comes through as Zyra, so targeting that mid lane. Likely pushing back towards a Malzahar, but Machine Gun Kirby does have a couple of other picks that could come out here.
And just got to shout out, again, League of Legends names. What a great name, Machine Gun Kirby. I mean, I'm famously a Kirby stan, but like it's hilarious.
Well, Machine Gun Kirby 2, the man of many names, also goes by Goval's Deep, a fantastic name as well.
Just the puns, the wordplay, it's 10 out of 10. You've gotta like give that a little shout out. Once I played as Malphite because I didn't have a choice, and it was scary, and I didn't know what was going on, and that's all I remember.
As a
the team just screamed R. Lilia here. This is likely Lilia top lane.
I was very confused and wanted to wait for the rest of the picks to come down before I looked at that, because yes, Lilia top lane can definitely be a thing, especially with, if you're telling me this Shaco going into the jungle with homosexual, and then Annie rounding out the mid lane. So here we go.
Yeah, I think another one of those back picks for Machine Gun Kirby here in Annie. So a lot of AP damage perhaps. We'll see how the Shaco goes here, whether it's the AD or the AP pick how spicy do we want to get in the third game of the night. But also a lot of damage out of the other side. Malphite, clear engage champion. Wukong, clear engage champion. Another knockup available in the Lulu. All meanwhile, you could have an Aurelion Soul sitting on top, putting out a ton of damage. So pretty, as Sam would like to say, pretty clear go button on one side, and a little bit more of the deep protection play, unless you're getting a pick from Shaco or a flash ultimate out of Annie. That damage over time coming from the Lilia, Karma, and well, potentially the Shaco too, depending on if it's AP or AD. Two very different teams.
And can I tell you how I see this game kind of shaping out? Zyra Zaddies has very much an early game composition. Anytime you've got Shaco, you automatically are kind of forfeiting the ultra late game just because it's a champion that doesn't scale very well, but can put out so much pressure and fear all throughout the map early on. And so I'm really, a lot is going to ride on how much can homosexual get done in this early game. Annie is a great target for this because Aurelion Soul, though a little bit slippery in the early game, can definitely fall prey to a stun queued up by Annie, especially if homosexual can get some of those jack in the boxes behind Aurelion Soul, so he's not able to just fly away from this. That could be easy kills. Malphite also possibly susceptible early. You've got, depending on how they itemize, you've got an AP Lilia, and then this perhaps AP or hybrid Shaco coming up to this Malphite. And so you've got these lanes that are going to be very volatile, and Shaco able to play into that. So I think a lot's going to ride on how much can Zyra's Zaddies get done. We have not seen them jump out with a lead early, and I think this composition they've built here, they're comfortable on a lot of these champions. They're ready, and that's their game plan. Let's get out early. Let's see if we can put the pressure on Kai'Sa's Kittens before the late game.
And if that's resting on somebody's shoulders, I like it being on a Shaco out of homosexual, assuming that is the correct pickup here. Very technically sound player, going to be generally in the right spot at the right time. And we've seen that both in the first two games. It just didn't quite translate in game one, where it was stalemate in the bot lane. It did translate pretty well in game two, and having early pressure in the top lane without much help needed. Where he could kind of roam around to other places. But now on a Shaco, somebody who could clearly take an early advantage. I'd love to see some trickery out of that old jokester there. But we'll see how quickly they can get off into that. Xander, what do you want to see in this game you haven't gotten to see tonight?
What I want to see is Zyra Zaddies / formerly Vigar's Vixens come out on top is what I want to see. And I think I've been listening to this kind of breakdown of these champions. If homosexual with Shaco can kind of do a lot of damage early game and kind of take over the other team's attention for a while and let the other members of their team kind of level up and get beefier, that might be just the thing they need in order to be ready for those aggressive pushes that we know they can do. So I'm excited for that.
It's actually a little bit of a switcheroo here. We see Goji Daddy taking up the Shaco, homosexual opting to go top here with the Karma. So same pressure principles are alive here. And is that Hail of Blades there I see. So this looks like it's going to be an AD Shaco, which works out just fine with all of the
Okay,
AP
but look at the skin
available.
synergy. Again, this team is slaying with the skin synergy.
They truly are going with those cosmic purple-blue hues all the way around. And Kai'Sa's Kittens. Just taking a standard 5 point. Oh, 4 of them walking down here. Are they going to do anything?
A little bit of vision there says probably not going to get an angle there. And home hovering around the bot side here means that it is home support. Going down with Queen of Darkness, that puts Machine Gun Kirby on the Annie in the mid lane. That third person, Lilia, will go to the top lane. Shaco for sure jungling. And I think we got the call correct earlier for Kaisa's Kitten, Dirk top, Trish jungle, Skippy in the mid lane, Madayo with the assisting supportive portions for Foxes in the bot lane. And we're going to start off as a nice clean 5-point, and Goji showing they know how to play Shaco here, doing the correct setup in the early game. Taking out the chicken's going to be able to move to red, and will likely be just as fast of a clear as having the leash in the bot lane. So slight, oh, maybe misses the jump there, but slight advantage perhaps. Red side, who is bushwhacking it.
They open up. The creep not quite contributing to this fight yet, and a little bit of damage goes on both ways. Pretty even there as Medeo stepping up into the creep line wisely to make sure that the damage is returned.
Yeah, pots available to heal back up here. The Caitlyn popping one, still one available in the Biscuit for the Xayah, so still gets maybe a slight advantage of that fight as we see third person looking to trade early here before that damage from the Q comes out of the big rock monster top.
Plus more combat summoners available in the bot lane for Zyra's Zaddies, as you've got Ghost for Medeo, so will be very useful in the middle and late portions of the game, but not as great early on to win all in. So that'll be an interesting lane to watch.
They're taking quite a bit of damage. They're going to be somewhat healthy here, walking back under turret. As Home playing very aggressive, saying, I'm going to protect my queen here, keep you alive, let you scale up. Walking straight in front with Karma, of course, very healthy with shields available. And can put out quite a bit of damage, too, if positioned well.
Wow, third person over here really doing a lot of damage, even though their opponent is mostly under tower, which is impressive.
Yeah, a lot of damage too coming out of Queen there. You see that little bit of pickup by Homosexual landing the bind, getting the stun, the root for a second, and it's going straight back in to apply some more damage, knowing that the heal is out of the way now for portions. But gonna eat a headshot here. Flashes away for just a second. Queen actually has the advantage here. Gonna stay in. Will we get an opportunity for damage to come back through from Homosexual? Flash is coming forward. Damage landing back down. Home not gonna be able to walk away here.
And
Hiccup.
that was
What
just
a
a
good play.
complete vision diff there as Medeo goes into the brush, and you could just see Queen of Darkness trying desperately to auto attack and get something down, and just did not have the vision, and so canceling autos, unable to find any return damage onto Medeo, lets Kaisa's Kittens win that exchange.
The power of the ward. Stay informed, my friends. Keep your vision score high.
So a quick, this Shaco here clearing quick, but then not finding any ganks was hopeful, I think, to find something in the bot lane. Unfortunately, things resolved before Goji Daddy got there. So we'll see if the second clear, Goji Daddy can find something.
Yeah, maybe in a spot where ganking top would be possible, but that vision coverage out of the side of Kaisa's Kittens up there says, no way, I'm not dealing with a Shaco coming in from anywhere. And the timing's just not there, so back to clearing. And will be ahead of the clear should Wukong choose to go over to the opposite side. So Shaco may be the first one to head down towards Dragon here, as we do see vision coverage for both team in the immediate area.
Alright, Skippy on Aurelion Soul taking a big winning trade against Machine Gun Kirby just at the 5:30 mark. This is definitely a timing if you want to base here, push in, base. You'll be ready for this Dragon, and level 6 to boot.
Third person willing to go in here. A lot more damage coming down from Dirge, though. The first to hit 6 is third person. Maybe willing to keep this fight alive momentarily. Does not have vision on the enemy jungler. Gonna land a... Oh, just missed the ball here into the wall. But continuing to provide pressure as that wave crashes. No combat stats really yet for Lilia into this matchup. Opting for the tier.
trading back aggressively. And now Reach arriving here against third person, who's forced to flash away. So Wukong grabbing that flash.
Flash goes, ultimate still alive, does have TP available, so can safely transition back here. And now Goji Daddy laying claim to this dragon, loses the box momentarily. It looks like a top for bottom trade on these objectives, as 4 have now arrived to assist, and the ward dies. So no vision over to Kai'Sa's Kitten. This will be double major objective trade, and I think both teams might be okay with that right now.
Yeah, free take, things are slow. Ooh, third person though, landing that swirl seed, locking up. No amount of armor is going to help you here against this Lilia, who just gets to dance outside of this Malphite's range. Just a constant pestering here from third person.
Just looking for a chance
Leveling
to
up
lull you to
again.
sleep. Lilting Lullaby available for that fight. Didn't think they quite had the damage to use it there. Maybe also opting to save it in case a regank comes, knowing that the flash is down. Does eat a lot of damage there. Will hit the Drowsy, going to be under the tower. Do you want to go in? It might be your only chance to get out. You get the kill anyway, so you trade the 1-for-1. Wave advantage to you. Trish going to walk down out of there. And maybe wisely saving that Lullaby for a little while for that gank isn't enough to save third person in the end, but does trade the kills.
Yeah, that little tick of damage over time, just enough to secure it. I thought that Dirge was out of there for sure, but unfortunately falls great 1-for-1 there for third person. So, and as you said, the wave state perfect for that bounce back. The third person can try and build a lead. Unfortunately, a little behind here in CS, and the headshot comes through. Queen of Darkness now falling very low. Medeo trying to follow up here. 1 and a second headshot falling here, and look how quick that Caitlyn is allowed to move and gonna score double, having all the moves out and available there. Netting, Whimsy, headshot.
Just barely picking up, and that's the advantage of having the BF sword already in that lane matchup down there, as we see a gank coming into Skiffy. Mick Skipper going to walk out of here, and Skiffy holding a double CS lead at this point hasn't really converted it too much into items, so it may not feel as strong at this point, but next back and you might start to feel it a little bit. Machine Gun Kirby going to try to battle back here in the CS, but always a strong option having the Annie with ultimate available. When we get to see the little teddy bear come out, the game changes quite a bit, and keeping that dragon immobile is the name of the game.
Well, and you mentioned the CS, and it is every single lane here for Kai'Sa's Kittens has built that CS advantage, including Dirge in this top lane, who has been under constant duress from third person and has still managed to outfarm this Fawn. So very well done for Kai'Sa's Kittens here so far, and it's helped them build now a sizable lead.
Oh dear.
Homosexual trying to make a gank happen against Skippy, but Skippy playing safe, the vision's out, and there's nothing doing. Goji still looking to be a part of first kill as a Shaco. This is what you want. There's a root, gonna be followed shortly by that Jack in the Box Fear, but Skippy gonna get out of there. And now Wukong in there, him and the clone doing so much damage, but Machine Gun Kirby gonna pick it up, and Portions for Boxes arrives, but goes right into a just nest of Shaco boxes, forced to just wild growth themselves and get out of there.
Goji Daddy showing off some of the Shaco plays there, dodging the ultimate out of Aurelion Slow, that hallucinate there. Skyfall Descent not going to land. Queen of Darkness taking a little bit of damage from Medeo here as Goji shows up for protection. Great play, as you think you're going to be able to get a kill. It turns out to be a clone, and then you're stuck between two boxes. That's a scary spot for a support to end up.
Another headshot. You're not going to be surviving that for much longer, as the collector soon to be completed here for Medeo, but for now you're safe.
Yeah, Queen of Darkness going to be forced to leave here. It's home. Just barely catches another shot. So close, playing right on the edge, but the Qs are landing from Medeo, and that's going to force this wave back into the tower, continuing to keep up pressure, but we do see there's a playful little trickster nearby. who might want a little piece of this AD carry. Not going to have the stealth all the way into the fight. Taking some damage from portions from Fox, too. And now it's kind of stuck in an awkward position here. Is Goji Daddy going to eat one headshot? Any proc here will kill at this point, but will strut away.
Yeah, 90 caliber net, just enough to... Just not quite enough to secure that kill there. But that is not going to last for much longer as a 4-0 Caitlyn here with a sizable CS lead is continuing to become a problem for Zyrazadis.
What do they transition to here? Remember, we split on objectives earlier. Xander, to answer your own question now, either objective is available for you, Void Grubs or Dragon. Where are you going?
I could not tell you what either of those did. So, like,
which one would you like to slay?
Vibes, the Dragon, purely off vibes, because I don't like the sound of grubs. But I feel like it might be a trick question, and I should have chosen grubs.
Well, either could be correct. We're seeing that damage come from Machine Gun Kirby, though. Being a little bit behind, it doesn't matter. We're getting a great turn here. Man advantage because Goji has a friend who's also him. Looking in the mirror as Goji walking in for damage. Might be able to pick up enough to take it. Yeah, it does take out Trish there with the Shiv. But there's a Malphite laying in the wake, looking to put some damage on you. Your clone's going to save you momentarily, but only momentarily. Ultimate out of Dirge gets the kill.
But you still got 3 team members, you know, chasing after.
Ooh, 1 shot, 1 kill.
Listen, Caitlyn she's good. She's really good.
Very oppressive.
Yeah, Medeo's showing up. What makes Caitlyn so strong here? That collector rush. You cannot be left alone if you're Queen of Darkness here against these two. Caitlyn Lulu so strong. But in the meantime, in the mid lane, Machine Gun Kirby trying to punish Skippy for hanging out. Tibbers is summoned. The stun lands, but there's just not enough damage. Does have that Bloom available to help him get away. So Rubbing Soul
trying their darndest to stack those stuns there. Just couldn't lock down the Dragon long enough. But showing that it's a good show of force, though. We see that burst damage is there from the Annie.
The first turret.
So tell me about this teddy bear.
Teddy bear, summon Tibbers available for Annie here. Just sort of Annie's, you know, companion. That's always around.
And it's just a
big kind of
giant teddy bear.
Exactly. Just wants to give you a hug.
Love that.
Yeah.
Like Goji Daddy hug right here, trying to hug Malphite, but can't quite find him. Both these neutral objectives.
Oh no.
Still up, and you're just warding.
Homosexual just hiding in that bush.
But Medaio showing up, missing the 90 caliber net in the beginning, though. Great sidestep. Queen of Darkness going to save himself from a little bit of trouble, and Home feeling it. Has the damage maybe to stand up at least to the Lulu at this point. Has the chapter. Third person now looking to stalk Dirge a little bit, but they're pretty even on the trade here. Ultimate going to come through. It's going to be a lot of damage to the Lilia. Might be able to kite away as we see on the other side. No, just eats that shard. And that's 2 dead on the side of Zyrazadis right now. None trade back, so that will likely be an objective if Medaio can get out of here. Kills the clone very succinctly, though.
Yeah, 2 kills going down. Surely that means that Kaisa's Kittens is going to look to secure this Dragon, their first of the game, but they're playing it slow. They're making sure all the vision is under control. Gonna see, does Zyrazadis dare check this? Does anyone get too close? And Thresh turning away from that Dragon, instead putting the pressure on Goji Daddy. The whole team, the full might there to back him up as the skies descend. Ace in the hole, and you're gone.
Yeah, the ability to hit from range here now with Sky's Descend when it transforms there, and to Caitlyn, if you show up on vision, you're likely to take a ton of damage. It's a scary combination, and they're pushing in for more blood perhaps. Malphite not going to have the movement quite yet to jump on top of you, but that's mere seconds away. is the unstoppable force from coming right back up. So they're able to do this nearly on repeat now, so a scary spot to be in until maybe third person has the damage to start melting over time, but just quite not there yet.
They start up this Rift Herald, they're pulling it out. Could they continue to press their lead as without any vision, there's not much that Zyrazades can do against this. Feels like Kai's Kittens wants to group up as 5 and try to push this lead as quick as they can.
That's the play. They've got Stranglehold here now, and we won't see Unstoppable Force come out right now. Third person knowing they have to keep some pressure on the map here to keep everybody else healthy and moving. As we see us splitting back out now, actually slight man advantage here over to Zyrazades towards the mid lane as third person dropping a little bit low, does end up dropping. The clone drops as well mid lane too. Shaco gets to watch himself die again in front of him. Very scary. But no additional fight in the mid lane.
One thing I'd like to see here out of Kai's Kittens is a little, just trying a little bit more siege here. As they had, in a moment ago, they brought all 5 up to that Rift Herald to help secure it, and they're all 5 have been kind of skirting with this idea of grouping up into the mid lane and doing something and kind of pushing this lead. But instead, I guess when you've got pretty much your whole team here 6-0 Caitlyn in the mid lane, you don't need to do much of anything else.
Everybody else back. I'm good for a little while. Oh, and Portion's hitting max range on those EQ combos. Love to see it. And the siege begins here. Medaio putting down the damage. Queen going to look to clear a little bit. Machine Gun Kirby maybe holding on the stun. Uses it there, looking for an opportunity to go in at all times. I know my Annie gameplay is just waiting for that alt flash to come in and land it as Skippy starting to put down the damage. The level discrepancy showing between the solo laners and the bot laners now. All hands on deck to protect this mid lane.
Dur's coming down from the top lane here, trying to answer this. The siege is on. Machine Gun Kirby looking to try to do a flash. Tibbers here for a big multi-man stun, perhaps one way back into this game.
Yeah, it's going to get spot out by that one ward, but that's one of the only pieces of vision really down for Kai's Kitten towards this side. They're getting control. Oh, as we see Trish pushing it on third person. Third person's going to stay up in the air for a while. Did not know you had wings, little dear. Flying clone going to drop here. Might give a little extra damage and a little more time for Goji to get away. But the Wombo combo there continuously keeping you up in the skies like you're on a trampoline. Don't love that.
Now when poor third person started out this game so strong, has just met the unstoppable force that is this Malphite, and it's just been tough to play. It's been 2v1 up there in that lane, and now Zyrazades, as with no one in the top lane to protect, what are they going to do here in the mid lane? Oh man, Skippy is just relentless on the side. Here's all 5 members now arriving. This tower going to go down. How much more are they going to look to grab?
I think Homosexual actually sidestepping so that Machine Gun Kirby could not tank the ult for him, knowing that the shield was available. That's the ultimate team play. Everybody willing to take the shot for each other. As TP coming out, this will be not a take from Goji Daddy. Sky's Descent comes down. This will be a pickup. Who do we want it to go to? Dirge says, I'll go ahead and take that one. And that's 2 committed to the top lane. Not much doing as a wise retreat out of Kai's Kitten. Says, let's stay away from danger here. Portion's just going for a little bit more vision before doing the same. Dragon spawning in 30. And Dragon's still 1-1, so not a terrible time to catch them in this back here and maybe siege just a little bit. We might be able to get this tower down. It doesn't look like we'll be able to do it before the big bad dragon can sneak in. But home very, very fast. Actually, the deer and Karma together. It's going to be a quick team here.
The Herald now dropped in that top lane. Going to get a hit off on the top turret, taking a big chunk of it. In the meantime, they take away for Machine Gun Kirby, which means the siege is on in the mid lane. 3 tower diving here onto the third person, flashing forward. The knockup's land. You're a little deep though. It's shutdown goes over to Xayah, but they do grab an entire turret for it.
Always good, willing to Cyclone and then flash for the second proc of the Cyclone to land. Pays for it, but honestly, strong positioning here, and your primary damage dealers are still on the board, making it very hard for Zyra's daddies to walk in to contest.
Another dragon now up. They're just going to wait for their jungler to come back after dying in their opponent's base. Make sure they have a smite available for that.
Yeah, they've got that vision back together now, so it's good to see that pushing out, using that advantage. Very, very dark on the side of the Zaddies here. But they're staying behind that vision line right now. We'll see how far Machine Gun Kirby's willing to move forward. Goji Daddy playing the embodiment of a ward. Tries to jump behind Machine Gun Kirby. Nobody wants Goval's Deep to get hit here. Just protecting protecting from that ace in the hole. As Dirk going back to the top lane.
They're first going to try to kite this out. The rest of the team not allowing a fight to happen. A little bit of an HP lead here for Dirge, but third person has the speed. Unstoppable Force comes through. The one knockup going by. There's just only so much you can do when every single seismic shard slowing you down. Are you going to get away? The final one lands, and that's another one. Another one down. Meanwhile, there is a bit of a fight here. Tibbers finds a target on Thresh, who's just trying to peel Queen of Darkness on that. Xayah has a lot of feathers out, but there's just nothing available. Gonna go down to the whole team now. Moving through into the mid lane.
Yeah, and maybe just not the dot damage for Lilia quite yet to take down that monster of a rock in front of you. Quite a mountain there. Every member of this team pretty strong over to the side of Kai'Sa's Kitten. So it's a mountain to climb in any lane at this point, and they're using that advantage to take a peek at this multi-headed Baron.
Yeah, even though we see that Zyra Zaddies has, you know, a little more on the board this game than last game at this point, it does feel a little more one-sided. It seems like, you know, Kai'Sa's Kittens is just so strong in every single angle.
Yeah, I think I am seeing them play to their vision quite well, though, or Zyra Zaddies. Now, their vision, of course, is pushed in a little bit, but they're willing to stay behind the line of what they can see, and that's half the game once the enemy starts pushing in, is know your boundaries, know where you can stand and where you can't stand. And it is helpful to have such an elusive jungler nearby who can basically act as a portable ward for you and be able to get out pretty safely in most cases. But stand behind the line is not a choice right now. It's Medaio willing to just shove this mid lane in. Now with the Baron minions helping to assist. One cannon has arrived to put out the damage and not willing to step up now quite yet. Probably just waiting for the ace in the hole to come back up to loosen somebody up again.
If you're Zyra Zaddies, you're just hoping that the opponent steps on a ward and you know you have a small numbers advantage that you can take. Because otherwise, it's just full-on defense mode. And the siege is so powerful with these Barons, with these Grubs. It's just nothing doing here for Zyra Zaddies.
Yeah, a little bit of damage does go to Medaio on the bot side. And takes the bait on the clone here. Might still have the health to stay alive. Gonna go drowsy for a second as we see the rest of the team converging around the bot lane. It looks like Dirge will end up dropping with this Malphite. To whom, though, we're not sure. Maybe the Shaco. 2-position Shiv available, and it is Lilia that picks up the kill. Siege continues on the bot lane as Medaio continues to put down that oppressive damage. Skippy also a ton of damage available, willing to kind of frontline this corner position and pushes everybody back.
Oh, the skies truly descend. That's Queen of Darkness taking so much damage there. Portra's Fox is just trying to keep Medallo alive, who's kiting out very well here, trying to just take down Goji Daddy. Triple kill, and that takes out 60% of the health bar. And look at that huge Caitlyn, both because of the wild growth and just because of that IE collector.
Yeah, Medallo willing to push in alone here. Stares down Queen of Darkness. Here comes a giant dragon to help you, though. That's going to be a lot of damage. 90 caliber net lands for a moment there. That might have actually been what picked up the kill. I'm not even sure if the headshot landed afterwards. The collector on that. That's the last bit of HP. Drops from the Nexus. Cyclone into the base here. Comes up with nothing. Game 3 in the books. Week 1, everybody.
Wow.
What a...
Just like Fortnite.
Yeah, just like Fortnite. What a game. Just front
So
to
similar.
back. Kaisa's Kittens just had such control there, playing as a team really throughout. I mean, there were definitely a lot of moments in that game, but so many of them come just through the absolute burst that you were finding. Medeo, especially on that Caitlyn in the bot lane, was so oppressive along with portions for Foxes. It was difficult to do anything down there when if you show up, you're just in danger of getting headshot, and then where's your HP? What can you do?
Yeah, once they got rolling, they really played to advantage quite strongly. It's good to see too, though. Again, this is our first week of the season. A lot of times, if you're like me, you might have taken a couple weeks off. If you're like Sam, maybe you're out there playing Swarm instead of practicing. You know, we're a little rusty. It's time to get loose. So with week 1 in the books, I'm very excited to see a lot of the good macro plays with some playing around that vision, playing back when you don't have it, playing forward when you do have it. People willing to define their styles. We saw third person opting to go for those split pushers. We saw Eric there in the mid lane willing to pick up those control mages and support the team as they can. As I think we just got a wet one laid down from Blaine. Thank you very much, friend. People developing out, getting into league. It's just nice to have everybody out here and see.
All right, before we go, Mr. Raccoon, you want a quick pitch Fortnite or with some of the other sports here?
Yeah. So right now, League of Legends has obviously just started tonight, but Dead by Daylight has also started. They started this past Sunday. Valorant and Dead by Daylight are going back to back this coming Sunday. So please definitely check in on that on our stream. That's going to be super exciting. Then we're going to have Fortnite starting on the 19th. I believe that is the Monday. We're going to have the Fortnite Invitational on the 5th. And then we're going to have Overwatch, which is starting, let me get my calendar out, on August 8th as well. And then Dungeons and Dragons on the 10th. So we have a bunch of leagues upcoming. ARAM is also coming out. Oh my God, I have so many calendars. All of them we're basically going to have something every day except for Friday. So we really appreciate your viewership. We really would love to see your support in all of our streams. Right now, this Sunday, Dead by Daylight and Valorant double feature. So definitely check in for that and show some support for our other leagues.
And also mark your calendars to come out to some of our in-person events. I just learned about this tonight, and I'm going to add them to my calendar. We've got our next in-person meetup just around the corner. When is that again?
That is almost positively going to be on September 6th. September 6th.
6th. All right. We'll see.
Whatever
6th,
Friday is
I just
nearest
read my
September
calendar.
6th.
September 6th. Yes, almost positively September 6th. And then out in the park at Six Flags is the 7th, which is not a CMSA sponsored event, but we're hoping to have a huge CMSA turnout. And for all of you out of town folks, that would be a great weekend to come on in, hang out with us at the North End Friday night, and then join us at Six Flags the next day. And we'll see if we can't put something together in between, maybe a brunch or something like that on Saturday before Six Flags.
And for those of you planning your trip to that in-person event or Six Flags, you absolutely can look and be the best dressed person there if you check out our merch store over at our CMSA merch. Can you tell us that link, Gunny? I always seem to forget
it's
it.
right down there in the chat if you want to check it. But that, of course, is
Right down there in the chat.
Absolutely.
Everybody's favorite. But you might as well bookmark it in case the stuff in there changes every now and again. You got to check it out when it drops.
Have our new logo.
And if you aren't already a part of our Discord, we'd love to have you join us at cmsadiscord.com. If you want to play any games with us, we'd love for you to come play with us.
Okay, Mr. Raccoon and Gunny and everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for casting alongside me, you two. It was such a great first week here for season 15. I just can't wait for what's going to be happening in the future. I'll be back. Chroma will be back sometime next week. You can check us out same time every Tuesday, 7 o'clock Central. We will be here. Any final words, either of you?
Thanks for having me. Thanks for
great
coming.
First night. You guys are great. You killed it.
Be nice to each other, friends. Be good people.
Yes, as always. Thank you for watching. Be kind to one another. Have a good night, everyone.